Hello everyone, how are we doing? Hopefully tonight is going quite well for you. I might try something new tonight, we'll see. I always get a little bit more adventurous as I'm going through here. But I thought I would continue going on with Ratchet and Clank to start with, as that's how I started the last stream. Speaking of nice, I thought about going back to Ratchet and Clank and beating the first three again, since it has probably been about 10 years since I beat it. However old the HD compilation is on... excuse me. However old the HD compilation is on the PlayStation 3, that was the last time I played it. And it was on a 3D TV. And yes, I did play this a little bit in 3D, although long-term 3D gaming does not go well with me, is what I'll say. You know, I can usually last a couple hours, and then about movie length runtime. Avatar would probably be about the max that I can do a 3D game in, anyway. It's kind of surprising that some of these games didn't make a comeback on PlayStation VR, because VR is basically 3D. It's right and left eye. And they could have taken any of these games and made them look like you're staring at them in 3D rather than in full, like, immersed virtual reality. I mean, I'd like to see a VR version of Ratchet and Clank, to tell you the truth. I'm not quite sure how it would work, because all this stuff has fixed camera behind you, so... I mean, it worked for Astrobot Rescue Mission. Astrobot Rescue Mission. So they need to make another one of those, too. Not just the Astros Playroom thing. I want to see a full-fledged sequel to that. Oh. So we're getting started. So last we left off, yep, we were at the Blark Station. And I think I had failed the last mission. I know I'm not done at the Blark Station. I don't think I am. But one thing that always kind of surprises me each time I come back to Ratchet and Clank Collection, or even the first one, is just how kind of dark and mulled down this game can get. It can get colorful at times, but if you take a look at this, I mean, it's got grand vistas, but look how dark everything is in this level. That's not a result of HDR or capture fatigue or whatever it is. I mean, the art style looks okay. Like, I don't consider this is like an ugly kind of art style. You have these muted greens and ugly greens and all that stuff. It's just kind of strange, considering that the newest game and other games in this series look very beautiful. It's just, you can definitely tell this was the first game out of the series. And of course, you're watching it fully upscaled into, I think this was this a 1080p game? The PS3? Not all of them did that. Let me see if I can find that out real quick. Because I can look up the video properties in this and see what it was captured in, but that doesn't mean that's what it was being put out in. So here's Future Tools of Destruction, Ratchet & Clank Future, Crack in Time, also good games. Might want to go back and play those as well. I'm looking for... Huh. There's one called Ratchet & Clank Trilogy. Which I do have this, by the way, on... Oh, it's all buried back there. I also have this on PlayStation Vita. And you can play this on the Vita TV. Vita TV has, what's that? HDCP copy protection on it. So, and there's no way to shut it off because it was mainly used for... It was supposed to be like a cross between an Apple TV and a game console. Back when Apple TV couldn't play games. So, there we go, collection. And let's see what the box art says this puts out in. It is very tiny and it's very blurry, so let me take a look at that. I could go grab the box for this. It does not say on this one. Oh, that's the Vita, that's why. Trying to figure out what this was put out in. Hey, Jeffrey Maschek, welcome to the stream. I'm just chatting up myself until you guys step in here. There we go. This one's going to tell me. I'm pretty sure... Oh, of course. What is Pinterest, by the way? Pinterest has all of these pictures that are linked to it, but there's nothing on Pinterest. Like, I don't know. The way I describe it to my coworkers is that Pinterest is just a collection of viruses. So hopefully I stay off it. This is telling me it's putting out in 1080p. So if you guys didn't notice, that also transitions me into... Give me a second, Jeffrey. I'll get to your comment here in just a second. I'm actually doing some prep work as I'm talking as well, so I'll get to your comment in just a second. But it was, I want to see if my video capture was finding this. So if I go to... Oops, I think I have to open it in QuickTime. And then QuickTime Player, View Properties. I can usually find this better in a VLC player. But I know somewhere in here it'll give me some property. Oh, you know what? It's in Finder. I've only had a MacBook for years, so... Now this is going to be kind of weird because I'm playing this same video twice. That's not what I want. I want to see the file properties, get info. And let's see, this was captured in 1280 by 720. So that's interesting. I don't know exactly what this game outputs in 1080p, but I have a feeling it's very particular about that, because not all games on the PS3 went up to full HD. In fact, I'll go so far as to say as most of them did not. But this looks good. So I am broadcasting in 1080p, and if you guys didn't realize this as well, last stream I went back and I always kind of rewatch certain segments of the stream just to make sure everything looked good. And I forgot, so some of the tricks I was doing to make my stream look good, I was broadcasting in 720 and 30 frames a second because I think it sometimes went to 60. It could have had that option, but sometimes it didn't. But my internet connection couldn't handle much more than that. I mean, it really couldn't. And now that I have a new internet connection, I transferred over to a company that offers fiber. I didn't have the option before. I didn't have that option before. They just installed it in my town because I live in a very small town. So now that I have fiber internet, I'm doing 1080-60, and it looked great. The image of the video looked great, and the picture of me in the corner, I mean, it just looks like me. I'm not going to say I look great, but it didn't look grainy. But my stream border, where it says Player One Start, and it's got my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter stuff on here. I should probably put the TikTok stuff on here too. But anyway, this didn't, that didn't look good because I was using a low-res picture, but it looked fine on stream when I was streaming in 720. So that was a little trick that I was doing. I had to use a different program to recreate this background. And I think it worked out great. I also was able to stretch out a little bit more to get the widescreen footage to take up more space. So making some changes, making some improvements. Hopefully the stream does a little better. All right, Jeffrey, let's take a look at your comment. Hey, buddy, just got Bucky O'Hare today in the wild. I'm going to ask, you don't have to answer with a specific dollar amount if you don't like, but the question I got to ask is, do you still have both arms and both legs? One of my videos, not last year, but the year before, there's a store I went up to north of me. One of my video game hunting videos, I think it was probably retro game hunting. I found Bucky O'Hare, but it was complete in the box, and they wanted both arms, both legs, and one of my kidneys. I mean, it was expensive, so I had to pass on it. So good for you. I'm glad you were able to get it, but I want to know, were they reasonable? Did they only take like the non-essential fingers and maybe the non-essential toes? Okay, so you had some trades to put in there, so that could make all the difference, honestly. To be honest, too, I thought for sure, like, maybe I would go back up there. It was in June of 2019 when I went to that game store, and believe it or not, I was back up. I was actually farther north of there. I was up near Schaumburg, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. That's where I filmed a lot of my Great Goodwill Gathering videos. But when I was up in that area, I was going to stop by again and see if they still had it. And then I was going to ask, okay, what can I do to get this at a decent price? That'd be a good find. And at that point in time, I had a ton of Wii U games, Wii, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3 games. I had a ton of those that I had that were extra because I was getting them so cheap. I was getting them for like $1 a piece out of these rental stores that were closing down. So I thought for sure I might be able to negotiate a trade where maybe I can just trade in games and get... Because seriously, I had a ton of them. I sold them all off on eBay, though, eventually. At least all my extras. I did donate a fair bit to my high school as well. So congrats, dude. That is a gem of your collection. Was that complete in box, or was that loose? I personally wouldn't. I wouldn't care either way, for me. Complete in box, I don't have to have, as long as I have the original cartridge. That's the main part. I would probably put that in a bank deposit box somewhere. Have arm guards around it all day. Also, Star Wars Arcade game on the 2600. Star Wars Arcade is a gem on the 2600. It is really... It looks nothing like Star Wars Arcade, so it's kind of fun. It'd be kind of interesting. I can't use my box to emulate it because they do. That game does not fool around in terms of its port. Oh, look at this. We got... This looks like... Anyone else thinks that the face of this guy looks like the alien from Independence Day? I know, Jeffrey, I'm not trying to put you on the spot with that, but he really reminds me, except for the body doesn't look the same, but that face really reminds me of Independence Day. Oh, yes. And here's something that makes me a little upset about this game. So usually, you can bring up your weapons select, and the whole game will pause it. Like, the whole game will pause while you select your weapon. Not in this game. In this game, you have to get away from enemies and then select your weapon, or else they will keep attacking you. See, I had to get on top of this box, and those guys are still trying to attack me, so I can switch over my Pyrocitor. I used to call it a Pyrocider, but... So yes, the first game, I don't know if I'll go through and actually completely beat this one. There's another reason why I might not, but we'll see. And of course, so now... This weapon's not the best to use against this boss, but it is the best to use against all those little creatures. So... Hey, Got It Jr., welcome to the stream. Not much is up with me. How about you? Keeping busy? Or as some of my coworkers like to say, working hard or hardly working? You want to play it? I wanted to play Bucky O'Hare since you found out about, oh yeah. Since you found out about it, yep. Yeah, Bucky O'Hare is one on my bucket list as well, is what I'll say. Because supposedly it's a good game, it just... I mean, come on. What kid back in the day was going to buy a game called Bucky O'Hare? Kid, maybe. But at that point in time, too, it was also... Wasn't it released really late? Let's look some stuff up about Bucky O'Hare. You can fill me in on that too, Jeffrey. You own the game. Let's see here. Fictional character. First appearance. Said Echo of Future Past. Oh, is this a... was he actually a comic book character? Or was it just on TV? Let's see here. Bucky O'Hare is a fictional character and a hero of... Yep, it is a comic book series. I did not know that. I thought it was just a TV show. Because it's one of those licensed properties. This would be, no offense to you, Jeffrey, but everyone else wants to play that game. That would be a good game to add to the Nintendo Switch Online store. That would be a good value to add for that. I know it's really tough for them to get licensing for these games. But this game is so rare. I mean, it would really make it worth it for the casual gamer. Hardcore collectors are still going to want it, but...
How about I sell you these? At cost. Sell?
Nothing will take the experience away of... Nothing will be able to duplicate the experience of playing an original hardware, I guess. You know what the funny thing is? The picture for the Bucky O'Hare just overview is the picture of the game. 1992. I was trying to figure out the year that the game came out. Because anything past 1991 on the NES, I know people like to argue this with me all the time, or at least they like to say, hey, the NES didn't immediately die off. I'm like, I didn't say that. What I said was, as soon as you got a Super Nintendo or a Sega Genesis, the NES was dead. To most of us. It wasn't to me. And I'm also saying this. That's also been my experience. So that's why I said anything after 1991 that was released on the NES, those are most of your rare games, because those are the ones most people didn't buy. That's what really surprised me about Kirby. The first Kirby, Kirby's Adventure on the NES, was a 1993 release. That game is not rare. That's like the best-selling game post-Super Nintendo. Trying to hardly work, but work is finding you. That's a good response. I'm gonna start saying that. I usually come up with saying, I'm like, what's work? I'll usually say something like that. Define work. And then I usually follow it up with, hey, if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, right? Alright, let me see if I can find the video game article off of Wikipedia here. Arcade game in 1992. Here it is. Oh, don't tell. Okay. So the gameplay of this, I'm going to let you know. That's the first thing that popped up here. Bucky O'Hare is a 1992 platform game for the NES based on the comic book series. Game was published by Konami. Released in North America January of 92. That is a rough time for a game to come out on the NES. I mean, in Japan, it was worth it for them to keep doing it because, yes, the NES was still... I'm sorry, the Famicom was very well supported and used in Japan well after the release of the Super Nintendo and the Sega Mega Drive over in Japan. But the NES here in North America was not as well supported. I mean, it was the budget gaming system, and it's just one of those things. It's just like, it's kind of like the Apple versus Android. People with Apple devices always kind of look down those who use Android. Well, that would have been the same thing back in the day. Anyone who had a Genesis and a Super Nintendo would have looked down upon the people who are still, oh, you're still playing with the NES? That's a kid's toy. You can't even play Mortal Kombat on that, man. Something like that. And of course, when Donkey Kong Country came out, then it became the argument of which one's better, Mortal Kombat or Donkey Kong, or... Yep. I mean, honestly, I think Donkey Kong Country has lived up more, but Mortal Kombat's still nostalgic. And still played. So, more so than Donkey Kong Country was. Because Donkey Kong Country is still on one platform. I was trying to see if they were going to mention the rarity, how many copies were sold. Because unfortunately, the documentation that was online has been taken down for most of these older games. Because they were probably unreliable. They didn't get it very well. Let's see here. Some critics disliked its lack of new ideas to the platform genre. Okay, the person who wrote this article, this is... When I'm on Wikipedia, by the way, and somebody actually commented on this either this week or a week ago. Somebody commented that... They said, loved your video, but then they said, but did you just read this word for word off of Wikipedia? And you can go back, and some of my videos do have a striking similarity to what's on Wikipedia, but I will let you know this. I get a lot of information on Wikipedia. I use that as a starting point for research, and I'll go and I'll research the sources they used and verify the information. If the information's good, I'll use it, but if not, I actually go through and re-edit some of the Wikipedia articles if they're not written well. This article here is not written very well. So this is one, if I was researching and doing a video, I would go in and I would edit this article for Wikipedia. Sometimes things get rejected, sometimes things don't. I'm not really an expert on what makes a good Wikipedia article. I know how to research, and I know how to rate research paper style things. So yeah, and I really feel like that video game history should be preserved and shared. Not, it's not as proprietary, I guess, like all my stuff's offered for free, quote unquote. I don't charge for it or anything like that. So, and Wikipedia is Creative Commons, so as long as you give license and attribute to it, you can use what's on there. So yeah, and then it's kind of funny, I actually talked to that person off stream because I replied to his comment saying, yeah, but did you ever ask who wrote the Wikipedia article? So that's why if you do see some similarities between what I do on here and, oh yeah, look at this on a stream here. I was hoping this would show up again. Whenever I get in the water, since this was originally a 4:3 aspect ratio game, they just hid the your breath meter off screen. So that would have been off screen. That's not a glitch. That is literally, I would call it almost laziness. But they literally emulated the PlayStation 2 version on the PlayStation 3 and upscaled it. Basically ported it over. So I would really love to see these come out on the PlayStation 4. And that should be possible since they also made this for the PSP. Hey, Thomas, welcome to the stream. Says he's literally playing this right now too. Love this series. You know what? What got you in? Oh, here we go. We're going to grind here in a second. This level is probably my least favorite level in the first game, no joke, because of how specific your movements have to be and the timing has to be. Because if you're off by like so much as a microsecond on a jump, you have to start all over, and you're going to see here in a second what I mean by that. So the whole thing just keeps filling up with water, and when you get in the water, it goes so slow. At this point, you're already done. There's no way I can get to the end on time, because I'm already in the water. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. I do point out some of the criticism of the game. Now look at how tight this is. No way I could go down this hallway because I'm gonna run out of breath. But I'm not. You know what the funny thing is? I'm not actually that far away from the end at this point. But you'll see here in a second. So now we got to start this whole project over again. So this is one of the grind sections. And if you guys are wondering why you don't see me doing whatever with my hands, this is pre-recorded footage. I played this actually last weekend. I'm just starting out the stream with this, getting to talk with the chat. This is like the chat portion of the stream. I will actually be playing some live retro games here in a few. But yes, I decided to start out with some Ratchet & Clank. See right there? That's a mistake. I'm never going to make it to the end now. That recovery will never... But yes, I am a huge fan of Ratchet & Clank. I have been since... I don't know if I told this story or not. My brother used to work late night shifts at... I forgot what job that was at the time. There we go. But anyway, he told me that he went to a friend's house and he played a game called Ratchet & Clank. And literally when he told me that, I had never heard of the game series. I said, Ratchet & Clank, that does not sound fun. That does not sound appealing to me. Like, honestly, I was completely against it. And he said, no, you don't understand. You got to get this game. Because we had a PlayStation 2, and he said, if you don't get it, I will. It was in 2005, so the first 3 games were already on the greatest hits list by that point in time. Maybe the third one was on its way. So the first game I actually bought was Going Commando, and that was the first game I played. Then I went back and played the first one, and then I got Up Your Arsenal. But anyway, the first game I played was Going Commando, so the story didn't make sense to me because they were halfway through it already. But yeah, so I went to Walmart, I went to one of the clearance bins, and for, I think, $14.95 each, I bought the first 3 games eventually out of that way. And I've been in love with the franchise ever since. I think I paid full price for the original Ratchet & Clank Future on PlayStation 3. That was one of the reasons why I wanted a PlayStation 3. Why I didn't go with Xbox at that point in time was because I really wanted to keep playing Ratchet & Clank, and Ratchet & Clank was exclusive to this platform. That's not the only reason, but that's one of the reasons. So yeah, if you guys haven't given this series a try, it is really fun. It is a cross between this one, not so much, because I wouldn't start with the first game. The first game is really dated nowadays. It really shows how much they were trying to try out new concepts, and they hadn't really finalized the formula yet. Look at that. I was like a half a pixel away from the top of the water, and I still died. So yes, if you guys haven't tried this game series out, get any of them. The remake on the PlayStation 4 was pretty darn good. Or the reboot. I think the reason why that didn't go through all the way is because the movie failed. They were trying to expand Ratchet & Clank into other media. I think what they should have done first, instead of a movie, they should have turned it into a TV show. To be quite honest with you, because the movie, I liked the movie, but I like the movie because I like the games. As a movie by itself, it is not very good. I know they want to do the whole origin story and everything with it, but I will be the first to admit, I have the Pixels movie poster behind me, which is another movie I really like, but a lot of people don't. Or a lot of people think it's not that great of a movie. But I actually have the Ratchet & Clank movie poster sometime, too. I should probably swap that out sometime when I do this, since I'm doing the Ratchet & Clank streams. See, like right here, there's no way I'm going to make it. But yes, I'm playing this on the PlayStation 3 because the remaster of this automatically plays it in a... Look at that. So close again, and still didn't make it. Like, I'm very glad I didn't play this on stream because you guys would see me really upset. I probably would have rage quit if I was doing this live. I don't know why I'm more self-conscious about my gaming when I'm doing it on stream, but... Well, the problem is I know eventually I'm going to make it. Like, that's the thing. There's other things where I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to keep grinding like this because people are going to see the same screen over and over and over again. There's somebody who I used to follow, actually, who used to do that all the time with Mario Maker levels. And he would play the same level for like an hour and a half and then finally beat it at the end. I was like, I can't do that. I have to know that I can beat this level before an hour and a half so that you guys don't sit there and get motion sickness from seeing the same thing over and over and over again. Me too, by the way. That's something I don't like either. And this is the only time in this game where it's like really a grind to try to get through it. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. If the breath timer was just like a half a second longer. Almost. Almost. There it is. I didn't think I was gonna make it that run. I think the game wanted to make it a little bit easier on me. I thought I was going to have to play it at least 3 or 4 more times. But now, the whole thing is don't die, or I have to do that again. And I really don't want to do that again. Hey, OXO, welcome to the stream. You know what, I'm glad I'm seeing you guys tonight because I definitely need a little bit of, I don't want to say cheering up, but I definitely need to be in a better mood than I am.
Hey, press conference is over.
Let's listen to this.
Don't want no more reporters bugging him in his trailer.
Oh, you see, my friend and I need to speak to the captain about a matter of galactic security.
You mean you and your walking camera? You paparazzi make me sick. Now beat it.
But sir, I'm sure the Captain Quark will understand once we...
Now, save it. I know how it works. You convince me to let you in, you snap a picture of the captain in his underpants, then you sell a picture to the info tabloid for $1 million volts.
You've got it all wrong.
Meanwhile, I'm stuck here making 6 volts an hour, and I have to listen to a lecture from that cheapskate Quark. So you don't get in unless...
Was that minimum wage back then? $6 an hour? It probably was when this game came out. Or pretty close to it. I'm gonna bribe the bouncer with 4,000 volts. Come on. This is probably at a point where I got a text or something and had to walk away from the
See how
game.
it works. You grease the hinges, the door opens.
This is the first appearance of Captain Quark.
Quark?
What's that?
It's Ratchet and Clank, Captain. You know, from the hub.
Oh, yes, I know who you are.
You do?
Yes, and thank the galaxy you found me.
Huh?
There's an awful plot being hatched to destroy our planets.
Ratchet, he knows.
Great. Does that mean we can go hoverboarding now?
My friends, we're all in grave danger, and I believe that together we can put a stop to this madness.
Together? You mean you want our help?
Look, Ratchet, I've been keeping an eye on you. I've never seen anyone with such raw talent. You are a true hero in the making.
Really? You mean I could be famous?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, here, take this.
The amount of voice acting in this game got me good too.
What makes one man toil in obscurity while another becomes a hero? Is it strength, compassion, determination, or just pure blind luck? Wise men through the ages have struggled with that very question, but Captain Quark knows the secret. That's why he's been able to defeat more despots, rescue more damsels in distress, and save more civilizations than any other hero in the galaxy. Now is your opportunity to see if you've got the stuff heroes are made of. This infobot contains coordinates to Quark's secret base. Can you quickly conquer Quark's killer cannonade of confounded contraptions?
Like in one of the areas is called Mom.
Can you quickly quit? Oh, just make your way through the defenses to the center of the base. Prove yourself, learn the secret, and earn your place in galactic history. Consult your doctor before attempting any strenuous exercise. Not responsible for death or dismemberment. Your results may vary.
They always have those disclaimer messages in each of their cutscenes too when they do that. I don't know, the cutscenes in the original games are just great. And it's kind of funny, they were all done really cheaply because you can tell the animation on that was, they used stills instead just to make it look, I guess, so it looks a little bit more professional, but that was definitely a cost-cutting measure just so they wouldn't have to animate all those. And here we go, OXO, thank you so much for the donation, I appreciate that, buddy. Getting ever closer to the $300 goal, so We have a couple of new newbies to the stream here, if you guys haven't heard. This little goal that's expanding off to the side here. What am I fundraising for? I'll say that here in just a second. Yes, we're getting ever close to that. If you notice, it is just over $100 is where we're at on the fundraising goal. So here's the deal. I stream a lot of retro game stuff. I also capture a lot of retro gaming footage. And one of the things that's limiting me right now is that when I stream online and when I capture stuff, my capture card can only accept HDMI. Now, I have this little dinky, cheap box here that will convert composite to HDMI, but it creates a lag. It's really meant for videos, like VHS tapes and things like that. It's not meant for games. So it's definitely not well suited to the task of streaming. Not very well suited to the task of capturing game footage for HD and putting it on HD displays. So what I'm fundraising for is so I can get a new, it's not capture card, a new upscaler, there we go, to convert composite S-video components and SCART video sources into full HD so I can stream from original hardware. Most of what I stream that's not a native, like the PlayStation 3 is what I call a native HDMI console. So that one actually can stream just fine. I can stream from real hardware, but the rest of the stuff I have to emulate. So if you guys want to see me start streaming from original hardware on retro games, in other words, things that still use a composite signal, I'm talking the Nintendo Wii, the GameCube, not the Xbox 360, Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, all the way back to the Nintendo Entertainment System. That's what this fundraising goal is for, because that little thing, that little box costs $300 to do it right. And so that's what I'm fundraising for. If you guys can help me get to that goal, that is great. I appreciate you, OXO, for donating to the stream. Any and all super chats in this stream will go towards that purchase. So thank you so much. I will add that to the total. We are, like I said, I think we're at $102 before this stream started, which is a little bit higher than we left it last week. I've actually gotten some people who have given me a face-to-face donation, which is also appreciated. You can also help out by contributing on Patreon, or even just liking and subscribing and spreading the word about the channel. That always, anything helps, but I definitely appreciate that. Thank you, OXO, again for your donation. I also like that emoji, the fist bump one. It keeps making me think I need to go through and put in my own emojis into that thing, but I like the animated ones. So, can I do the fist bump back to it? Alright, where are we at in this game? I don't remember. Is this Quark's base that I'm at right now? I think it is. That doesn't look friendly. Whatever that is. Big old tank vomiting out toxic waste, it looks like. Oh yes, and of course the blatantly ripped off TNT crates. That is, I'm pretty sure that was another, like Insomniac games and Naughty Dog games always put references to each other's games. In fact, somewhere in this game, there is a Jak and Daxter picture on a wall somewhere. I don't know if, I don't remember seeing it yet, but if you guys see it, let me know. I don't exactly know. They're supposed to be like on a billboard or something like that. I should have remembered to look for it last time. Oh, I already took a hit from something. But yes, so then also in Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank appear somewhere. I think they appear in the second Jak and Daxter game, Jak 2. Which is kind of unfortunate because Jak and Daxter, I really liked the first game. I know a lot of people thought it was like, oh, it's a dated formula and it's a kid's game. And a lot of people like Jak 2 because they said they made it more adult. I didn't really care for it because that was at a time when we were getting Grand Theft Auto fatigue and overload. Grand Theft Auto 3 came out and it became such a huge seller, like everybody had to have that game. I guess because people just like beating hookers to death with a billy club, I don't know. Like that's one of the things you can do in Grand Theft Auto 3, so. I didn't really feel like a platformer geared towards the 10-year-old to 15-year-old crowd really needed to mimic a game like that. But hey, I'm not a game designer here, so. And then I never really did give Jak 3 a chance. I remember purchasing it. I got through like the first couple, I say levels, but the first couple areas. And then I was like, yeah, they didn't change it back, so I was like done with it. So I've never beaten Jak 3. Never beat Jak 2 either, actually. I got pretty far through it, but for some reason, it kept glitching out on one of the levels, and I just never went back to it. I even got the Jak and Daxter HD collection for PlayStation 4. And I did have it on PlayStation 3 as well, because you can play it in 3D. And I'm pretty sure I have it on the PlayStation Vita. And I've gone through and I've beat the first game several times on each one of those. But I've never beaten the second one. I'll play it for a little while, and then I get bored with it. And then by the time I'm done with Jak 2, I never even give Jak 3 another chance, so. Probably should give those games a chance again, especially since they keep re-releasing them. That's what makes me think if the Jak and Daxter collection made it to the PlayStation 4, where you can actually download them so you don't have to use PlayStation Now, why hasn't this game made it? Seems like it'd be pretty easy to... Well, if they still have the source code, I guess, it'd be pretty easy to port over. But yep, we'll be going to some retro games here after this segment's over. Let's see how long this one's got. Oh yeah, we got a little while, so we'll keep up with the chat as we're going through. We already talked about Bucky O'Hare being... Let me take a look. You said you paid about $40 for it, Jeffrey. With trades. That's very important. Let me see what Bucky O'Hare currently goes for online. You know what? It's not the price has gone down a little bit since I don't want to say it's gone down. I don't usually look at it. No, it's actually up since 2019. Maybe that game store just had an outrageous price on it. Because yes, I see it's never. I think you can see the sticker in that video. Let's see if I can look up that video. Yes, this is I'm gonna start doing the meta stream, where I'm looking at one of my videos on stream during one of my streams. No, I'm not that full of myself. I just really... I gotta figure out which video that is. My MacBook's running kind of slow because it's not... I'm not used to having it... There's quarantine collecting. I remember I posted that video before the quarantine. There's the Wii U collecting frenzy. Was it part of that series? It probably was. Because I was collecting... That's when I was collecting all those Wii U games. Almost got a complete collection with the Wii U. Let me see here. And... Oh, yeah. I posted this during our what I called quarantine. Gosh, this is actually taking me back, and now for some reason it moved me completely away from all those. There's the Wii U collecting frenzy again. There we go. It's kind of sad when I can't remember something that I've posted or exactly which video it was in. Yeah, and this stuff's taking forever now because it's trying to decode full HD video. Let me turn that down a little bit. There we go. There's the video rental store. Another video rental store. Not quite yet. There we go. It's the Wii U Collecting Frenzy Part 3. And I'm going to have to turn the HD footage back up here so I can actually see, because I need to see the price tag on this. Oh, I have this in 4K. Even better. Oh, it is struggling. My stream's probably going to cut out here if I keep doing it like that. I can do it in 1440p. Let's do 1080. Onet Gaming Company was the name of the store. I hope they're still in. I think they were in Ottawa, Illinois, which is right outside of Starved Rock, about an hour south of Chicago. And the video, I thought that the building was really neat because it's actually a converted church. They converted a church into a retro gaming store, which, I mean, I don't know about you, but that seemed very right to me. Oh, never mind. The game that I saw in there was not Bucky O'Hare.
I'm kidding.
Look at that. I can remember a lot of things,
What's a rhino?
but apparently I got that wrong. The game that was in that store was Little Samson. That game's even more expensive. That game, you'd have to trade in a small child to be able to afford that one.
He must have stolen it from the blog.
Stolen. Look, trash can.
So yes, I guess I have yet to run into Bucky O'Hare outside of a game convention, because I have seen it since. It's just what I thought it was. And yes, I should have bought it back then, because it was complete in box. It actually had a... They hadn't rated it yet, but they said they were going to try to get it rated. I'm glad they didn't. Because the graded price... Why is the graded edition more expensive than the new price? But anyway, here's what Little Samson costs. If you want to buy Little Samson used... Oh my gosh, yeah, as I say, this is much more expensive than it was. The loose copy will run you $2,000. So Little Samson cartridge by itself is $2,000. An irony to me of what's going on today. I also should let you know the reason why I needed cheering up today is because I just got news. I'm one of those, I'm a proud homeowner, but unfortunately because I'm a homeowner I also have to maintain the home. And today I got a huge bill for something that I have to get fixed. Well, I haven't gotten the bill yet, but I got how much it's going to cost. And yeah, my house apparently needs electricity, and my electricity apparently isn't cutting it. If you have a complete in-box copy of Little Samson for the NES, $5,131.49. This is based off of sold listings online. And yes, some of them... So here's this year's sales. The first one this year sold April 1st for $5,500. The second one sold on April 15th for $6,100. None of these made the news stories, just like that Mario 64 that sold for so much money. That listing can't be found, so that might not be a good one. And the last one sold June 27th, so just about a month ago, for $5,150.50. But that was down. Their asking price on that one was a lot more. Oh, hang on. Nope, never mind. I don't like that. When I want to see the actual listing, it takes me to, oh, sorry, this isn't available. Here's something very similar. I don't want the similar, I want the actual listing. That was an auction, so that's how much they bid up to. It had 6 bids. Gosh, that person made a killing on that. eBay makes a killing on that too with their commission. $5,150. I could not... I hope I have the amount of money. Wow, the starting bid was $4,500. So yeah, somebody outbid them all. It went from $4,500 to $4,750, and then it went up by 100, another 100, another 100, and another 100. So it was in $100 increments. They kept bidding that up. I would have to get something equivalent to a small car loan for that, and pay it off over 6 years. That is insanity. Again, I hope that the YouTube career will get me the ability someday to be able to afford a game like Little Samson. That is insane. We'll say this, I'm trying to multitask tonight, so I will have to step aside here in a little bit to make sure, check on my washer and dryer. Because I'm calling it an emergency load of laundry tonight because the power to my house will be shut down tomorrow because I have a electrical repairman. I don't know if I mentioned this on stream, but back in January of this year, we had a big ice storm that swept across the Midwest, and while I was on vacation, it was actually January 1st when all this happened, because I spent New Year's down in St. Louis with a couple of friends, invited us down there. So when I came back, the ice storm had knocked down a couple power lines, but it also tore down like a couple fascia boards off my house and created a lot of damage, tore down my fence, and I've gotten almost everything fixed. But so now that I got everything fixed, yes, it's taken a few months to get people out here to fix the random things that were down with my house. Now that I have that fixed, I now have to get the electrical wires that were tore off my house put back up properly and the wires rethreaded. And unfortunately, that's going to cost me, well, an arm and a leg and a kidney. Not as much as little Samson would cost me, but definitely more than Bucky O'Hare would cost me, if that gives you an idea of the pricing. I'm going to start... I'm going to start asking for the companies to start quoting their prices in the amount of retro games I'd have to buy. Sorry, we can't fix your electricity. That will cost you 6 Bucky O'Hares or 3/4 of a little Samson. I don't know if that's true or not, because they haven't given me a bill yet. He just started preparing me for how much it might cost, and I was like, eh. Hopefully he comes in much lower, but we'll see. And that's the thing too. You have to trust the guy who you're working with to do this. Look at that. Look at how tempting they make that bolt. And of course they could just to mess with you. They're like, oh, you can't go in this way. You have to find a different way. So yes, I'm definitely happy to be streaming tonight because I need to take my mind off of the amount of money I can't spend on retro games anymore. That'll pretty much break me for the rest of the year. Any extra money I had to spend on stuff will be spent on repairing the house, which is, I guess, a side effect of adulting is what I call it. We can't spend our entire paychecks on video games, can we? I mean, that's the thing too. I'm really thankful for the support that I get with this, because there are a lot of things I've been able to do with the channel because you guys have been very generous with I definitely have a very good Patreon and have some people who definitely help out and support me on there. I've been able to do some things on here. One of the videos I did was a project with retrobriding a Macintosh Classic and kind of doing a project with that. All that stuff was paid for with funding through Patreon. I'm also hoping to fund the next project. The next big project I'm going to do is on the Neo Geo console, which I've already purchased the console. That's fine. Oh, I was wondering how I was going to get out of there. But the games for that system are very expensive, so I have my eye on... I call it a multi-cart, but it's basically like an EverDrive, so that I can play games from original hardware. And the other half of that I need is the HD upscaler, so that's what the fundraiser I'm doing in the stream is for. So definitely hoping we can get that done. Oh yeah, and I think I mentioned this last stream, but if you guys didn't see it, the differences between the first game and the other games, I mean, there's a lot of features in this game I was sorely missing. There are no upgrades in this game. Once you get a weapon, that is what it does. For all eternity, there's no upgrades. Also, your health is 4 hits and you're dead. Same thing, you cannot upgrade it. 4 hits and you're dead. The entire game. But I think starting with the second game is when I think they started implementing the, what am I thinking of? I think that's when they started implementing the new upgrade system, was starting with the second game. So that's why I was very surprised it wasn't in this first game. There we go. I like doing a lot of exploring here, trying to get all the bolts so you can afford all the weapons. I don't think I ever got the Rhino in any of these games, except on the newest one, Rift Apart. I think that's the only one where I really went through and got the Rhino through the first playthrough. I know I've gotten it after the first playthrough on a couple of them. That's the thing, I always hesitate to trigger the cutscenes in these games. That was lucky. I thought I was going to hit the top box too. There we go. I think I've got every possible bolt in this area. Now time to talk.
Intergalactic Hoverboard Competition. Captain Quark's giving away a brand new Platinum Zoomerator to the winner of this competition.
A Platinum Zoomerator. Perhaps that will be the proof of your accomplishments that Skid's agent requires.
Wait, do you guys mean Skid McMarks?
Yeah, Skid couldn't make it, so we're here to, you know, fill in for him.
Guess we'll see about that.
But it was harder for me to pull the stream up while it's going here. My YouTube studio doesn't like to tell me. All of a sudden it'll tell me nobody's watching, or it'll tell me one person is watching. Yeah, this is going to be another part where I grind. Okay, I'm going to turn that volume down again. Yeah, at this point, I just got to try to learn the course and then see if I can finish. I was actually kind of surprised this all started with the first game. I thought that all the rest of all the side games were added in future releases. It's almost like they had all these game concepts that they wanted to do for other games. But obviously, too, another game that was very popular around this time was... This may have been inspired more by, like, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. But then again, this isn't exactly like what Tony Hawk's Pro Skater would be. It's definitely why they added in a skateboard character. Because as much as I like this stuff, I'm like, it is kind of weird that they added in a skateboarder into this series. And then it's called it hoverboarding. Then again, Back to the Future would be a good influence on this, too. They should have had you try to sketch along a vehicle for a while, too, like Marty McFly does in Back to the Future. Oh, yeah, one little mistake. And I can't remember for sure if every time you hit the boxes that they regenerate through each playthrough, or if they'll actually let you through. There we go. You know what's kind of funny is that this could have also inspired something like Crash Team Racing. It's a new personal best, but no new score. So we're gonna have to beat that again. Obviously, we got to get first place to be able to get the item, to get the MacGuffin they want you to get out of this one. And hopefully, now that I know the course, I'll be able to make it through in the next shot. For some reason, I keep avoiding that area. Yep. That's all about hitting those turbos. If you don't hit those turbos, you're not going to make it. And I definitely need to avoid the downtown area is what I'll start calling that one. Second place. Which is funny, they can go through the... I call them the TNT crates. Look at that. Crap. That's only lap 2. I can still make it. Here we go. Now let's try this one. You just gotta find the line and ride it. This is like racing in real life. Find the line and race it. Ah. But with much more narrow platforming. Hey, Heplo, welcome to the stream. Says, good evening. Never was a fan of this series or Jak and Daxter. Give you 3D Mario or Crash over any of these games. You know what? I would agree with the first 3 Crashes, but after the first 3 Crashes, and even, what about Spyro the Dragon? Would you also include that over this one, or are you not a fan of Spyro either? Which is okay if you're not. Just because you like one of the games doesn't mean you have to like them all. Although, of course, now that they've done a Crash 4, I really want to see Spyro 4. Yeah, 3rd place. Still did better than last time, though. Just got to edge off some more time. Another grinding level here. Of course, I already missed a turbo, so that wasn't good. Missing that one turbo could be enough to... It's one of those things where some of these levels really require... Oh, and here's another example, too, while you're thinking about the question I just asked. This is another example of how dark this game gets. And how, really, it's got muted colors... And it's got ugly greens and oranges. I know why they kept going with green, because green apparently pairs with orange very well, or Ratchet's colors. So I can tell you why they kept going with it, but it's just in these levels they just look ugly. They need to have daytime levels, or maybe they were afraid it would look too cartoonish, because that was another thing too. I think they wanted to separate themselves from like the cutesy platformers like Mario and like all the other ones. Definitely Spyro. Spyro is more colorful than that, too. Spyro was good. Loved Klonoa. Okay, yeah, Klonoa is a treat. Klonoa is a hidden gem for sure. If you guys still have a PlayStation 3, definitely pick that up on the download. They're not the download, on the download. Because that game is crazy expensive to get on the original platform, but it's fun. Definitely not worth $200, but well, I will say it's not to me unless you're going for collector's value. Look at that. I was in first place, and now I'm in third, fourth. Come on, fifth. All because I made the little hair mistake of getting just a hair too close to those crates. Actually surprised I'm doing pretty good to catch up there. Oh, but then I got all cocky. Great kid, don't get cocky. That's my Harrison Ford, and it's terrible. I've been on one side of this galaxy to the other, kid. Seen a lot of things. Never make me think there was an all-mystical, powerful field controlling everything. Everything. That's what he says. Exactly. Also, first-person platformer. Like Jumping Flash 1 and 2 on PS2. You know, I never knew about Jumping Flash, believe it or not, until I got a PlayStation Classic. And when I played it, I was like, you know what? This would have been a great game for me to play back in the day. Like back in 1995, 96, that would have been my jam. It kind of reminded me of. You guys ever play Hover on Windows 95? You remember that game? I should stream that sometime. I need to get my Windows 98 machine back up and running so I can stream that one. That's what Jumping Jack Flash. It kind of reminded me of the fun I used to have doing that in that same graphical style. Also was never much of a fan of DK64 or Banjo-Kazooie. I agree with you on Donkey Kong 64. That was either the second or third game I got when I started collecting. When I got an N64 and I started collecting for it, I was like, oh, Donkey Kong 64. Always wanted to try Rare's last Donkey Kong game. And so it was like 2013 because it was not available on the Wii. That's the reason why. That was the big reason. Oh, look at that, second place. So close and yet so far. But yes, I was really, really excited about. Yep, I already knew I messed up. Had to start all over because I missed the first turbo. You're gonna see a lot of it. If I'm not feeling the way the run's going, I'm just gonna stop. Now I'm almost already in first. Ooh, that was a lucky jump. Anyway, but I 100% agree with you on Donkey Kong 64. That was the biggest disappointment on the. There it is. Am I gonna keep going with this run, or am I gonna start all over? I should start over. Yes, it wasn't that it was just a collect-a-thon. I realized that half of the gameplay you get out of it is backtracking through levels, only this time as a different character. And that part of the gameplay sucked the life out of me so much. Plus, I thought I had a stubborn control camera, or a stubborn camera to control, so that's why I said I personally don't ever plan to go back to Donkey Kong 64 and complete it. It's just not that fun to me. I think that the acting and cutscenes are a nice welcome. Hearing King K. Rool and his minions all have voices and do all that kind of stuff to it, that was kind of neat. But definitely, if they did a remaster of that game, I would like to see them fix the issues with that game and re-release it as something better. Maybe allow you to change characters on the fly, so you don't have to backtrack to a portal to change your character out. It's just, yeah, it is. It's just unfortunately not as fun. It's definitely not as fun as the 2D side-scrolling Donkey Kong. But of course, what sold me on the game, what made me get into the game was that Donkey Kong rap. DK, Donkey Kong. I know I'm sitting here ragging on the game so much, but Banjo-Kazooie, on the other hand, I think is better than Donkey Kong 64, even though it's the same people. I get why some people liked it. If I had an N64 back in the day, and not knowing what I missed out on, I would probably be okay with it. But the fact that I grew up with Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot, those are hands down, for me, they have aged more gracefully than, in terms of gameplay style, obviously. I think the graphics on the N64 were probably a little bit sharper. I think those have aged more gracefully. But Conker's Bad Fur Day, probably my favorite out of those platformers that they did on there. And it all comes down to the storyline and the humor. It's the same exact game as Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie, and Mario 64, but it's just so much fun. The stupidity of the game and everything. It's one of those games that's so dumb it's good. Oh, man. I went on a rant there. I need to catch up with the chat. Jumpin' Flash, you were playing in 95. It's probably your favorite early PS1 game. First time you ever played a first-person action platformer. I don't think I had ever played a first-person platformer. Nobody has ever put out any more first-person action platform games.
Captain Quark here.
There it is. Finally beat it.
To introduce this year's HoverCon Intergalactic.
That's okay, because I was starting to get pretty sick of watching that over and over again.
Hey, look, that's us.
Today's winners will take home a brand new professional grade Model T.
Collect 'em ups. That's a good term for it, Leslie. Thank you, and welcome to the stream, by the way. Cute 'em ups are a little overrated, but back in the mid-90s, it was so magical. Oh yeah, and of course the age that you first played it at too, it makes a huge difference. Because I played most of the N64's game library after I got a Wii, so I was college aged when I started playing those games. A kid, I'll take that back. There was a Walmart store display, or a Kmart store display, I can't remember which one it was, that I used to play Banjo-Kazooie on all the time. My parents would go shopping, I'd head straight to electronics and play Banjo-Kazooie because we didn't own an N64. I really wanted one. Whew, that Rhino is going to cost 150,000 bolts. That's going to take a while. So I played it back then, and I remember enjoying it. That was also one of the reasons why I wanted to get Banjo-Kazooie. But I was also, when I finally played Banjo-Kazooie, I'm like, man, I remember this being a lot better than it is now. I mean, it's not bad. I definitely like it better than I like Donkey Kong 64. It's just a shame how Donkey Kong 64 turned out. Definitely hasn't aged well. As far as 3D platformers go, Super Mario Galaxy is your all-time favorite on the Wii. I'm glad you clarified that, because I was going to ask, did you like the remaster on the Switch? Have you tried that yet, Hepwell? I could get used to it. I really like the fact that they took away, I guess you still have the motion control a little bit, but the fact that you can play it with a regular controller makes it a little bit better for me. Because that was one of the things I didn't like about Galaxy. But I played through Galaxy 1 and through most of Galaxy 2, but I had to rent them. I actually rented those off of GameFly back in the day. So I'd play it until I was bored with it and got rid of it. Of course, you love Mario 64. See, that's another thing too, Heppo. I was really disappointed in Mario 64. And here's the only reason why. And everybody who's played this agrees with what I say. It's actually something in the game. What they disagree with is how much it affects the game. Mario, sometimes, and for no reason whatsoever, he can't just turn around. He runs around in a circle.
Now is your chance to prove yourself strong and brave, like me. Conquer it, and you'll join in my fight against evil.
Haven't we done enough already?
What? I can't hear you.
I said, haven't we done?
Sorry, still having trouble. Tell me later.
Later? We might be dead by then.
What?
All right, Clank, let's get going.
I don't know, I really like the banter between Ratchet and Captain Quark in this game. And yet again, another dark level, overcast skies. I'm pretty sure they were trying to get away from like the cutie kitty kind of games. That's why this isn't just rated E for everyone, it's rated E plus 10. Anywho. Yeah, but that's why I didn't like Mario 64. He doesn't turn around, he runs around in a circle. And when you have to turn around on a high beam that took you an hour and a half to get to because you kept falling off the cliff, oh, it's so infuriatingly difficult, and it doesn't have to be that way. So I think it's iconic. Yes, it's classic. It was the first
Oh, that's a nice.
But it's kind of like everything. Everybody benefited from the flaws of Mario 1. They knew exactly what not to put in their game because of it. So, by itself, I think it's okay, but the only 3D Mario platformer that I actually thought was good in terms of excellent quality, a game I have to play over and over again, was Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey actually... Oh, I don't know why I did that. Taking me right back to the ship. And then it disappears. Anyway, Mario Odyssey is my favorite 3D platformer and favorite 3D Mario game. They just kept getting better as they went along. Mario 64 was okay. Sunshine I thought it was okay too, but it had a lot of the same flaws that I didn't like about Mario 64. And I don't know, there's something is off about Mario Sunshine to me. Mario Galaxy was better than those two, and I think Mario Odyssey better than Galaxy. I know a lot of people don't like it when I say that, but that's just my personal opinion. I mean, the Cappy concept and throwing your hat and everything, I think they just nailed it in that one. They just kept getting better as they went along. Okay, so yeah, you said the same thing. Sunshine was saying, but Odyssey was good though, absolutely. I would say better than Mario 64, but I know other people will argue with me with that. Let me see. Yeah, you love DK 1 and 2, also Returns, Tropical Freeze. Didn't like DKC 3? I will say DKC 3 is an acquired taste for me. I mean, is an acquired taste for most, but I personally like Donkey Kong Country 3. I remember not having an issue at all with that game back in the day. But a lot of people did. And I understand where they're coming from with it. Maybe not it aged as well, but it's part of the trilogy. So, and yes, I do agree with why is it Kiddy Kong in that one? I can't remember what his actual name is. Why is he wearing like a onesie with weird feet kind of thing? Yeah. Mario Sunshine goes for a pretty penny now box. That market, the GameCube market, fluctuates a lot. What is the current going rate for a Super Mario Sunshine? Yeah, it's back down in terms of value. According to the pricing guide, I use price charting. It's $35 complete, $29 use, which is still expensive for one of the best-selling GameCube games. Don't let people fool you guys. It is not rare. It did not sell well for the GameCube. I mean, obviously, it didn't sell that much because the GameCube didn't sell as much as previous consoles, or even consoles after it. But a lot of people bought Mario Sunshine. Over 1 million copies existed is not rare. It should never have gotten up. It was, throughout the whole pandemic era, it was up to, I think, like $100 for a complete unboxed copy. And I was like, what? I should have sold mine off and rebought it a year later and kept the profit. So thankfully that market has come down on Mario Sunshine. And that could also be because Mario Sunshine came out for the Switch. Could be the reason why we do that. Yeah, a lot of GameCube prices really seem to be going up. A lot of them are still up there. Was it Pokemon Emerald? I think it's still up there. Paper Mario, which I agree, the Thousand Year Door, it is a good game. And no, that game did not sell as well. Yeah, that one's still up to around $100. Complete inbox, $94.20 is what it says it's going for. Some people are paying over $100. Some people are paying just under $100 for it. So yes, that game still sold enough copies to where I think it doesn't need to be that pricey, but that's just me. It's really hard to pay over $100 for any game that was released in the last 20 years. I don't really consider any of those to be collectible. Yeah, any disc-based media is not as collectible, I don't think, as the cartridges. But maybe that's because I spent a lifetime collecting retro games, and for most of my life, the retro games were cartridges. And cartridges back in the day were very cheap. That's why I said I'm glad I collected most of what I have now. I mean, the pricing's so high now, I don't think I can continue collecting cartridge games anymore, because the ones that I need now are all super expensive. It's just up there. Never a fan of Mario Sunshine, only 3D Mario that you didn't like. All the rest you loved, including more recent Odyssey. And you said the remaster on That's Heplo. The remaster on Super Mario Galaxy is fine. Yeah, I mean, it's neat. If you don't have a Wii, it's definitely, I mean, I would recommend playing it on there. I would recommend playing it on the Switch than not playing it at all, if that makes sense. So if your only option is to either play it on the Switch or not at all, yeah, obviously, play it on the Switch. It's a good game. I agree. It is a shame they didn't include Super Mario 2. They should, Super Mario Galaxy 2. They should have. There's no reason why they shouldn't have. They're just like, 3 games, $20 each, $60. That's the way they looked at it. The original Super Mario All-Stars had 4 games. Why didn't the new one? I thought for sure it'd come out as DLC. I thought for sure that was going to be a DLC add-on. But nope. They decided not to. Alright, let's take a look here. First time the player controlled a camera was Mario 64. Invented of what we use today. First attempt, pretty solid. Oh yeah, absolutely. But again, just because, like I said, it's kind of like this. A lot of people say this too. I don't like Nirvana's music. I like a lot of music that was inspired by Nirvana, and the stuff that Nirvana inspired other artists to do. They took what Nirvana did and made it better than Nirvana did it because they were the first. So it's kind of like, that's how I explain why I don't like Nirvana's music. That's just how I do it. And so I try to use that same explanation for why I don't like Super Mario 64 as much as other people do. I didn't grow up with it, and going back and playing it now after I played much, much better. And I'm talking about much, much better in terms of design, camera control, jumping, platforming, how the character moves, all the stuff that it took a while to figure out. Let me see, Mario 64 used the yellow C buttons on the N64 controller. Usually games didn't have dual analog. Absolutely. The dual analog sticks didn't come out until like 98 or 99, even for the PlayStation. So even like, that's why when you buy the PlayStation Classic, there's no dual analog sticks. Although I do agree, it was a mistake not to include the dual analog sticks. Because even though it's the PlayStation Classic, by the end they still had dual analog sticks. They should have included a few of those. Gran Turismo should have been a no-brainer. That should have been included on there. Why wasn't at least the first Crash Bandicoot included on there? Because the licensing, they couldn't afford it. So they say. Final Fantasy VII was probably the best decision they made putting on that game. Other than that, they should have rethought a few more of their choices. Putting the original Grand Theft Auto on there, the original Grand Theft Auto, in my opinion, stinks very highly. That top-down view, it's just, oh, it's terrible. It's nothing like the Grand Theft Autos. Even though it's kind of funny, technically Grand Theft Auto 3 is a remake of either the first or the second game, just on the third-person point of view. So, I mean, that's why I say it's nothing like the other games. It didn't get good until they went into the third-person view. Troc did the opposite with you. You aimed with the analog stick and moved with the C buttons. Okay. Yeah, they had some very creative ways of getting around that. I mean, it's the same thing with the, even with dual analog sticks. Like, if you play Tomorrow Never Dies, which is the James Bond game on there, it still uses a classic style of aiming and moving. Not like what Halo ended up doing. Medal of Honor is the same way on there, the first Medal of Honor game. So, I mean, it's just... Like I said, they just didn't know what the right control scheme was. But that's partially why it's hard to go back to those games, because of those old classic control schemes we don't have to get used to anymore. You weren't a fan of Cappy? Oh, Heppo, that's blasphemy. And the music was so epic in the Galaxy games. Well, yeah, because they had the full orchestra on it. And in the new one, they kind of went for like, kind of like what they did with Super Mario 3D Land. They went with like a smaller, not an orchestra, but like a 12-piece band or something like that. Like they went to like a swing band for Super Mario 3D World and Odyssey, which is fine. I'm okay with that. DKC 3 tried new things, but for you, the peak... Oh, yes, definitely. I like DKC 3. But I think that when you say it's not as good as the other ones or anything like that, I really think you're splitting hairs. I think it's... The gameplay was pretty well perfected in number 2. By the way, I will say this. I like DKC 3, but I agree. DKC 2 is my favorite out of the series. Hands down. The pirate theme, the music in that game, the gameplay, everything they do in that game is perfection. And yes, DKC 3 is not as good as 2, but it's not that far off. It really isn't. It's not as bad as people make it out to be when they... everything gets so exaggerated online. Like, oh, that game was not good at all. I hated it. It was bad. I'm like, okay, it just wasn't as good. You can say that and not go on a huge tangent. Just because it scored an 8.5 instead of a 9.0 doesn't make it a bad game. To me. So it's still a good game. And I would say that DKC 2 and 3 are both better than the first one. That's just my opinion. I know that one, the fact that I said DKC 3 is better than DKC 1 will get some people arguing it. But that's just my opinion. The first game was so different from the other two. That's part of the reason, because the inconsistency of it, that I don't like the first game as much. The first game's iconic. I do like the first game. So maybe that one got an 8.0 instead of an 8.5. I am splitting hairs. They're all really good. Oh, let's see what else we got here. DKC tried some new things. We already said that the peak was DKC 2. Not a platformer, but your favorite GameCube game was Zelda Wind Waker. You know what the funny thing is? Since you mentioned that, I'm probably going to get some hate mail for this. I have tried out Wind Waker, but I always get like an hour or two into it. I'll save, I'll walk away, and when I come back to it, I'm like, you know what? I'd rather play a different game. I don't know what it is, but I never got very far into Wind Waker. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just think maybe that's something I can do. Maybe if I force myself to play it on stream sometime, that'll get me more into it. But it's really hard for me to go through and play that game and just all the way through. I mean, that's just my opinion of it. So Wind Waker, I can say, is a good game, but I haven't played all the way through it yet. It's really hard for me, too, to get into an RPG to the point where I'm going to complete it, because it takes so much time now as an adult. If I would have played that game in high school or college, I probably would have beat that game hands down, no problem. But I guess it's just the time that I'm into in my life right now is... I don't remember what I just did there, but I think I did that right. I'm looking at my gameplay going, what am I doing here? But yes, you think your favorite GameCube is the Wind Waker? I don't know what my favorite GameCube game would be. I know the reason why I wanted to play GameCube games was Star Wars, I want to say Rebel Squadron. Is that what it is? 2 and 3. I played Rogue Squadron. Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2. There we go. One of them is called Rebel Assault, I think. That was the reason that made me want to get a GameCube, but I didn't get one for years because the GameCube is backwards compatible on the Wii. So when I got a Wii, I'm like, oh, I can finally start buying GameCube games. That was the best time to buy GameCube games. I bought so many GameCube games then that are so expensive now. But they were really cheap then because GameStop was clearancing them out. They're like, oh, you want Super Mario Galaxy? Here it is for $4.99. We got to get it off our shelves. We're making room for the Wii. What was another one? Paper Mario. That was $7.99. I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. I should pick up Paper Mario. I've never played one of those before. That's the first one I played. I think I beat that game. It was so fun to play that one. It made me actually go back and buy Paper Mario from the Virtual Console, I think, as well. But I think I beat that one on the N64 itself on real hardware. So, favorite GameCube game, though. Wario World is I don't want to say it's my favorite, but that game is, I think it's kind of a hidden gem. If you guys haven't played Wario World yet on the GameCube, that is one I would recommend. I think it's a game that's very easy to overlook because it's never been ported to anything else, it's never been remade, and there's never been a sequel. They did WarioWare instead, which is a completely different game concept. Wario World is exactly what it sounds like. It is Wario in his own Mario 3D World kind of adventure. I would argue it was better than Super Mario Sunshine. You guys don't believe me? Maybe I'll play it on a stream sometime once I get my upscaler card that I'm currently fundraising for. Not to sound like a broken record or a hack that keeps saying give me money, but that's one of the things I need. The mid-90s, you would say, most influential games are Street Fighter 2, Doom, and Mario 64. Yeah, most influential, yeah. I would also say, but I think I'm thinking of some PC. There were some PC games that were heavily influential as well. What about Marathon on the Apple systems? Another first-person shooter, highly influential on others, partially because the company that made those games made Halo after that, which was highly influential. What's another iconic game from the 90s? That was SimCity. SimCity 2000 was a big one for me. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what else would have been that were highly influential. That other games tried to copy and mimic after that. Crash Bandicoot was a bit... look at this. They make it just slow enough to where you can't just jump out of the water and get it. You gotta Hydra displace everything in there. Those are pretty good ones. I'm hard-pressed to think of more games that were more influential than that. There was, like, Need for Speed, I guess, was a highly influential racing game genre. That influenced a lot of things after it. But I guess if you're just referring to, like, platformers and what the most popular game genre was, I agree. Definitely can't think of anything more than that. Donkey Kong Country 2 is quite possibly your favorite 2D platformer ever, with all due respect to Mega Man 2, X, Super Mario Bros. 3. Oh, I was going to say, Super Mario Bros. 3 is my personal favorite of all time, but DKC 2 is up there. It's in my top 3. Another one of my favorite 2D scrolling platformers of all time is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. That game is very well done. Very well done. I was very happy when I saw they're releasing it on the Switch, because I'm like, if other people don't get to play this game, this is going to be a true hidden gem. Tropical Freeze is done very well. Alright, we're about to see a plot twist up here, so if you guys don't want spoilers, too bad, I'm cranking up the volume.
Well, well, you two continue to surprise me. Step into the ring of heroes, and I will finally give you what you deserve.
Ratchet, this is no time for you to become cautious. We have reached our goal.
I don't know. There's something fishy going on here.
Listen to your little metal friend, Ratchet. Your destiny is mere steps away.
It's just something doesn't seem right.
This is it. Quark is going to help us stop Chairman Drek.
Why, thank you, Clank. You've been most helpful.
Oh, there they go.
Get off of me, you idiot!
I love it when a plan comes together.
What do you mean?
What do you think he means, genius? He's not gonna help us. He's gonna kill us.
You catch on quick. Although there is one problem with your hypothesis. I'm not going to kill you.
You're not?
No, he is.
But why?
But why? It's really not that difficult to decipher. I'm the official spokesman for Drek's new planet. I can't have you two getting in the way of my comeback.
This isn't over, Quark.
No, but it will be soon.
So yes, if you guys didn't know that, the main bad henchman in the first Ratchet & Clank game is Captain Quark. Now, if you guys have played all the other games but this one, that's going to come as a shock, because Captain Quark becomes a huge ally in the other games. But, yep, in the first game, one of your biggest battles will be against Captain Quark. And I'm very sad to hear, I don't know if he's passed away, because I couldn't figure out in the last stream, but I know that the actor who used to play Captain Quark, who used to voice him in this game, and all the other ones up until the newest one, apparently he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I don't know if he's still among the living, but very sad to hear about that, because he is no longer going to be voicing Captain Quark anymore. I thought it was a very iconic performance that he did, so just a little memoriam into, I think his name is James Arnold Taylor, I want to say. Anyway, just wanted to point that out there. Now he has a shield around himself, and now it's kind of funny, a lot of this stuff you can tell it was done on the PlayStation 2, because all these some of the particle effects they do for like the fire and flames and stuff like that there were very common to see on like the PlayStation 2. See, there I am, I got hit because I was trying to select my weapon. And for some reason, I think I need to take down a shield. Oh, and now I'm down to one hit. Just because I can't walk in a straight line. Alright, Paper Mario N64 was good also. Only other RPG on N64 worth playing. Ogre Battle 64, a tactical RPG. I do have that, and I've tried out every single game I've purchased. But, I'm not the biggest, I will say this, I'm not the biggest tactical RPG fan. But that one does seem very well designed. For people who do like tactical RPGs, I think that would be a good one. Oh, he destroyed my rock. There we go. And now my Glove of Doom ammo is going to quickly run out because there we go. Get the health. Oh, let's see here. Don't, OXO says, don't kill me. But I've never bothered with Zelda, only played Zelda 2 on the... Oh, well. If that's the only one you've ever played, I can see why you wouldn't bother with it. Zelda 2 is an acquired taste. Actually, have you ever played, I'll ask this to anyone. Has anyone ever played Battle of Olympus on the Nintendo Entertainment System? I first played that in emulation back in the day, not knowing that it's actually a clone of Zelda 2. Almost verbatim. Like in terms of its gameplay style, its storyline's very similar, and the final boss is the same as in Zelda 2. It's interesting because I never heard of that game until I played it in emulation, and apparently it's earned a reputation online because it's also a very difficult game. Wasn't Doom influenced by Wolfenstein 3D? Yes. But it was also developed by the same people. So Wolfenstein 3D and Doom. Doom, though, introduced multiplayer, and it had multi-leveled faux 3D. I thought the 3D on that console was called ray tracing, but maybe it's called something else. Vector tracing, maybe? But it basically allowed low-end hardware to show 3D graphics. And actually, the Doom and Wolfenstein games are not true 3D. It's like a faked 3D to make it look like that. But anyway, there's videos on that if you guys are interested in seeing that on there. I've never done a video on it. Doom is definitely a huge improvement. Yes. Yep. You said Doom reminded you. Oh, look at this. Look at that. All of my ammo just got thrown off into the oblivion. That's not an enemy trick I like. Hope they never do that again. Wolfenstein did come out before Doom. Karate Champ, Street Fighter 1, Fist of the North Star came out before Street Fighter 2. None were as influential. Yes, I agree with that. Like all fighters pretty much were broken before Street Fighter 2. Yeah. And of course, it was the game so nice they remade it 111 times. How many editions of Street Fighter 2 are there? I'm not talking about sequels, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4. I'm talking about Street Fighter 2, the Championship Edition, the Street Edition, the Standard Edition, the Non-Standard Edition, the Ratchet and Clank Edition, if there's such a thing. I don't know. You get my point. Oh yeah, Doom definitely popularized first-person shooters. There we go. I was hoping I wouldn't have him use his breath of death on me. I think Doom made first person... Yep, I already read that one. A lot of fighters after Street Fighter 2 were good. They even ripped off Street Fighter 2. I don't know. Mortal Kombat was good for different reasons, though. Mainly because of the graphics they used. The digitized real-person fighters. And, of course, the fatality. Always wanted to play Battle of Olympus, never got around to it. It's interesting. I personally liked it as well. I'm trying to think of... How do I get out of here? There it is. I think I gotta just jump. And there it is. Hopefully I don't... Yeah, I was like, hopefully I don't die. If I die now, I think I gotta redo the whole game. The whole level, not the whole game. Zelda 2 was like the black sheep of the series? Absolutely. It's more of a side-scrolling platformer slash RPG than anything else. It didn't play anywhere close to the original. I think that was the big reason why people didn't like it as much. Oh no, I gotta make it across another bridge. There we go.
What that infobot is for.
Maybe it can replace you.
We're pinned down! We're pinned down! The ships are hammering our position from the air! That was a little too close! We need support! Now! Actually, I need support. My entire battalion went AWOL and left me to fight this war on my own. If the enemy doesn't kill those guys, I will. I'm not gonna last much longer. Requesting immediate assistance. Over and out.
Those are direct ships destroying that planet. We must help that commando.
Are you serious? That's it. I am out of here. Captain Quark is gonna be sorry he messed with me.
This is not about Captain Quark anymore. There are innocent lives being lost.
Yeah? Well, I'm done with this stupid hero stuff. I got my own agenda now.
Ratchet, this is...
And now the classic storyline twist of the two friends fight. This part of the game is like a romantic comedy.
You don't know anything about me.
Which, no, I'm not the biggest fan of romantic comedies. The two heroes start arguing and they start going their separate ways, but they still make it through the game together, so
How do you start
you guys
this
figure that one
stupid
out.
thing?
Oh, let's see what else we got. We got some people joining us here. Christopher Lawrence, welcome to the stream.
Start the ship. If you agree to...
Yeah, I agree with you, Heplo, with how many different official arcade versions there are. Mr. Tamia, welcome to the stream. Ryan Yablo, welcome to the stream, and Brandon G. How can I make such a mistake? Welcome to the stream. Don't forget the Street Fighter 2 Pinball Edition. Yes, that's another one for sure. So let's see what we got here. Street Fighter 2, yep, all the different ones. Were the 5 official arcade iterations. Yep. Oh, now we have Quark and Chairman Drek working together. See where we're at on the timestamp on this video. Looks like we have a few minutes left. I am going to take a quick break to go to the bathroom, and we will be right back, and I will start streaming some live gameplay here in a little bit. I got a couple games that I'm going to do here, but I have a new segue here for taking a break and being right back. So you guys just join us. Don't worry, I will be right back to stream some live games, not just playing some previously captured game footage, but not previously streamed. So give me a second, I'll be right back, and we will continue on with some retro games. Alright, everyone. I am back. Looks like we lost some viewers, but that's right. Can't be helped. I've seen people who can stream for seemingly hours on end without ever having to go up and use the bathroom, but not me. Definitely something I have to do. Especially if I'm going to be chugging down bottles of water during this. So, you're probably wondering, Asteroids. Which version of Asteroids am I playing? I am playing the version for the Atari 7800. So, let me put the line eraser going here. I said eventually I'm going to have this professionally done, but whatever. So, yeah, I think we did some Atari 7800 streaming last time, too. I think I played a little bit of a... Oh, what's that game called I like on here? It's not Dungeon Explorer, but it's kind of like that. It's kind of like Gauntlet. Dark Dungeon? Anyway, one of the games I like on here. Let's go ahead and try it out. I'm using a Super Nintendo gamepad to do this. Of course, you would have had a joystick with 2 buttons back in the day. Let's see how this goes through. 1 player. We got Novice, Intermediate, Advanced, and Expert. Let's try Novice, and let's see how far I get, and I'll try the other ones here in a second. Oh. I can definitely tell the Super System graphics are flying here. Whoa. That's hard to control with a directional pad. Oh, just barely missed him. Almost need a turbo button for this. There we go. Nah. Yeah, that was too close. And if you guys like the sound on here... If you guys like the sound on here, this is the original Atari sound chip that they used in this thing. Which was good at making explosion sounds, but not music. This is pretty fairly easy. On novice, it's pretty easy. Although this does not hold a candle to the arcade version. Ah. There we go. Alright, I got 4860 on regular. Let's try... I wanted to change the difficulty. I was gonna let it kill me until I got run out of ships and I'm gonna try a different difficulty. There we go. This is a suicide mission, Captain. I'll be kind of neat if I unintentionally took myself out with the smallest asteroid. See if I can... I was gonna say I can see if I can hit it. Okay. Now we're gonna go intermediate. The arcade version was way harder? Absolutely. Let's try it. Okay, it just seems like we're starting out on a later level. Oh, and we got our little spaceship guy who comes in. Okay. So now we're a little bit closer to the arcade. Ooh. Spaceship controls seem a little more floaty. Oh, so close. Oh, of course. Okay, I do have the teleport. But usually, yeah, the teleport feature puts you in another one, so that's how far I survived in intermediate. Let's try a different one. Let's try advanced. The one thing you'll notice on this one is the sprite flickering doesn't really occur, not just because of its emulation, but... Oh, he fired on me, I didn't even see him. Can I make it past one level? Yeah, there we go. I made it further than I did on my first... Oh, there we go. Use my transporter. And I just exploded. Okay. Well, that's intermediates, right? No, that's advanced. Let's see what an expert can do. Oh, I know I was riding it pretty close, but I have the feeling that in real life, the pixels would have let me through. Come on. Gotta make it through at least one level of advanced. Oh, really? I got so close. But those sounds are very annoying, so I'm gonna go ahead and choose a different game now. That was Asteroids. Very simple game. That was the closest arcade port we can get on the Atari systems back in the day. Did they do a version for the Jaguar, I wonder? I don't remember if they did. What else do they have on here? Oh, they have some other arcade-style games on here. Dark Chambers, that's the game I couldn't think of. That's the one I was going to try to do before. Or the game that I played on here before. Whoops. Chose the wrong one. Sorry. Alright. You guys in for a Game Boy stream? I'd like to see a Game Boy stream. There's a game on here I've actually been wanting to stream for a while. There's a whole bunch of ones on the Game Boy that I really like. Let's see what they look like though. I can show you. I like playing puzzle games on the Game Boy because that's what they were really known for, especially with Tetris. My favorite version of Tetris to this day. I'm really playing Asteroids Deluxe on PlayStation 2. Nice, Damon. I appreciate that. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Is there an Asteroids version on the Game Boy? I just scrolled past all the A's. Let's see if we can get back there. Yes, there is. Let's do Asteroids on the Game Boy. Why not? And I think this is going to look black and white instead of the green color because I don't like the green color on TV. No, it is green. Look at that. 1979 and 1991 Atari Corp. Licensed by Nintendo. Oh, the Code Monkeys did this game. Asteroids on Atari Jaguar was just a homebrew? Okay. That makes sense. I know I have Tempest 2000 because people said I had to... Developers, the Code Monkeys. Great. Oh, I was just going to go through the credits now? It's kind of funny that they did this on here because they actually did like title screens on here because who would leave their Game Boy unattended long enough for this to be like a demonstration? I understand like on other platforms they would do that. There's an Asteroids game on GameBoyColor and GBA. All right, I'll have to look at my GBA collection and see if I have one on there too. But we'll try the OG Game Boy first. Oh, you can do... All right, we have 1, 2, or 3 asteroids as the difficulty. Let's do 1. We'll do the same thing we did before. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. This is terrible. On a TV. Now on a handheld screen, this would probably look even worse. You can't have different colored asteroids, but then again, the original game wouldn't have had different colored asteroids either. This is definitely 1 asteroid's worth of difficulty. I can see myself having a lot of fun. Yep, you have to actually press it each time. I was wondering if you held it down, if it would still fire. These small things are really hard to hit, though. They're not much bigger than your 1-pixel-sized missiles. Oh, that's dangerous. Yeah. You're gonna say I did that on purpose, but that was not done on purpose. You see how the missile goes out, where you can actually see how far apart they are? If those smaller ones can go in between your bullets, is what it looks like. My finger's gonna be sore after this one. Gonna be cramping up a carpal tunnel after how many times I had to press the fire button. Gotta love that classic Game Boy music. I wonder we're gonna start running into the sprite limits. I mean, I really don't have to maneuver the ship at all at this difficulty. It's just wait for them to come to me and just get rid of them. Oh, this one I do. I keep forgetting I can press the button and teleport. Sorry. I was gonna say it's gonna start getting difficult now. I like the little jazz outro there. Okay. Looks like I got a high score. My favorite name to put in there. Now we're gonna try. Well, do you want to try a different difficulty or try to? Oh, you guys can't see the image. Oh, that stinks. Wait, don't see anything, just black. Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing up. Give me just a second. Let me try. It could be the emulator that I'm using. Let me try that again. Nope, that's not working. Let's try the Game Boy Advance. Sorry, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. Hang on, I accidentally pressed the wrong button. Hey, I don't know why that was blank. People watching this in future generations will be like, man, people used to watch just the sound of the game. Huh, there's an Austin Powers for Game Boy Color as well. Asteroids, okay. Let's see if this works. I might have to restart my capture card here. Was that showing up? Yes, okay. Sorry about that. I don't know why that wasn't going. Can hear it but can't see it. Yeah, that's crazy. I might go back and replay that then, since you guys didn't see it the first time. Let's see what color can offer then. Yeah, sorry about that. That was probably user error. Now the viewers are going to start coming back because I'm doing more than just... I like how they had to have some sort of sound. Let's go to options. I like how they all have a multiplayer on there. No difficulty on this one, just go. New game and a password. We got ship. Okay, we get a different ship. I like how it's still kind of like, even though it's definitely pixels. Oh, there's the difficulty. I am not a veteran. I got rookie, veteran, or ace. Let's go with rookie and let's see what happens. A spatial distortion has released you in the asteroid belt known as Sigma Delta. Your mission is to clear the belt while asteroids, making interstellar travel in this part of the galaxy safe. You guys can still see that, right? Yes, asteroids now in color. Take extra precaution of the crystal asteroids as they will regrow after they've been splintered apart. Keep your eye open. We will try to drop you some new experimental technology. Happy hunting. Okay. They swapped the fire button. There we go. Alright, I'm actually going to move the ship a little bit. And it's interesting, the ship here will actually just stop on its own. In the Atari version, it'll just keep going until you tell the force to make it stop. I feel like, okay. Armageddon, I don't know what Armageddon is. Oops, okay, that didn't work out. Okay. Those are the asteroids that regrow, it looks like. What was the 1979 power up there? Oh. It's getting a lot more... The ship looks a lot more advanced now. Oh, that is tough. Oh, the transport button doesn't work. But instead I can use... Nope. I thought I could use a power-up. There we go. I think I was going to make it past that level. I will say it is hard to tell sometimes what's not going to hurt you when you run into it and what is. Like, I assume all that other stuff is going to hurt me still. Oh! Wasn't expecting that. So that's the Game Boy Color edition. And you said GBA? Let's see if I have any GBA stuff on here. Hopefully this comes back up this time. Game Boy Advance. Do I have Asteroids on it too? I do not. I have this thing called Astro Boy and Asterix. No Asteroids. Is it called something else, like Super Asteroids maybe? Or Asteroids Deluxe? Oh, that would have shown up there. Anyway, I actually wanted to go back and start playing some a Game Boy game on here. It's just Asteroids kind of popped up, and I'm like, oh, I can try that out. I know at one point in time I did Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which was pretty fun. That game itself is definitely terrible, but it's one of my guilty pleasures because it's a game I grew up with. Let's see if this will come up. Yep. What's it going to be called? Probably the other word. It's got two different... This game has two different... Oh, I got a great way to end this stream too already. We can do some Wheel of Fortune on the Game Boy. How about that? Hey, Matt Myers, welcome to the stream. Yep, Master. What console am I playing? Yep, Game Boy Color was what I was playing. I'm going to go back and play some regular Game Boy here in just a second. I got to find the right game. I think I sped right past it. Huh. It might be called something different because it's a game with two different names. I won't spend too long looking for it, but I thought I had it on here. That is kind of crazy. I wouldn't have it. There it is. It's all one word. That's why. It's one of my favorite games on the Game Boy, actually. If it'll pop up. Looks like it's going to. We talked about Wario World, and it got me thinking about it. Let me see if I can find the art for this. This music also too will get stuck in my head. And here we have our demonstration of how to play. It is kind of weird that they did this for Game Boy games too. I guess they knew that there would be a demo needed for a store kiosk, and of course the Super Game Boy existed back then, so why not? You know what? Let's go ahead and transition this to the 4x3, so at least it takes up more of the screen. And then I'll get the... This is Wario Land, otherwise known as Super Mario Land 3. It is the first appearance... I'm sorry, the second appearance of Wario. But it's the first time he was in his own little separate game. And yes, it is for the Game Boy. I've had this game since it first came out. And it looks like I'd played this before, but maybe I'd only played it on here just to try it out. I know I haven't streamed it. Let's go ahead. I like this. Jump. Then Wario turns into a bomb to erase a save file. And now it's a clear one. Turn the volume down on here so it's not echoing through the microphone. Dun, dun, dun. So this is the overworld map on here, and it is like a full-fledged Mario World kind of thing, only it's Wario World because it's smaller on the Game Boy. Rice Beach. I don't know why it's called Rice Beach, it's just called that. This is very nostalgic for me. This is like a guilty pleasure for me. Wasn't planning on streaming this time, actually. I was actually going to go back to the Neo Geo. If you guys want me to do that later on, let me know, but... I don't know if I'll be able to beat this in one stream or not. Definitely if I would have started earlier, that might be a thing. Where's Super Wario Maker? I like to see Wario make it as a character in one of those. There it is. And yes, look at this. I can attach myself when I have horns to any object at the top. I can also pound the ground and stun all of my enemies. I can also destroy enemies like that. But I'd rather get a coin, because eventually you have to pay to beat the game, actually. This is the first one of the pay-to-play games I remember having. Come on. Come on. Oh, I won't be able to reach the heart. Ooh. Nope. No! Oh yes, if you get too close to a wall and you try to throw them, it'll let you know when you can't throw them. It'll do a bump bump. Well, that's infuriating. I'll have to go back and get my power up again. Try and do some fancy stuff. Do you guys see the sprite flickering? This game was really ahead of its time. Or not ahead of its time, but really maxed out the specs of the Game Boy. Yeah, I was gonna try to do another fancy move too, where you can actually dash across enemies. I just didn't time it out right, because right there, that's what I'm supposed to do, I think. Or you can get a jetpack eventually. I may have to redo this level just so I can show you guys all the stuff I keep screwing up trying to do for the first time. Where's the remaster of this game for the Switch? They already did Link's Awakening. So the first time you beat a level, you don't have to pay. Never played this one, but you liked Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. This game is kind of in the same vein as those. Oh yes. And you never finish a level small. It'll always turn back into a big Wario at the end. And of course, you get to play one of the gambling games at the end. If you need more hearts, you go here. But if you want to earn more coins, you can go here. So this is my favorite one to play, and I really like using save states with this because so many times as a kid I wish I could have used save states. So let's go ahead and save the state. Pull the bucket. Okay, I won. So it's going to double the amount of coins I have. I have to guess again. Did they keep it the same? Did they move it over? I'm going to say they moved it over. Oh, I got a 10-ton weight dropped on my head. It's going to have my coins. But now that I know which bucket it's in, I can go back and cheat. Now I have double the coins. This is, like I said, I just love doing this because as a kid, how many times I got messed over because... Like right here, I can have the amount of coins again. Let's do it. Oh, of course. I would have walked away with almost no coins here. And now I'll have 272. Look at that. That was some quick math in my head. The Wario Land franchise is kind of weird to you. The first one is a sequel to Super Mario Land 2. Yep. Just from the bad guy's perspective of Super Mario 2. First one is a sequel to Wario 2, and then Wario Land, Wario 3, and so on. Yep. A Wario World, I think, is where it peaked. It had a very good game on the GameCube. I would argue better than Mario's one that year. Oh yeah. I pressed the select button, so it took me back to the main world. We're gonna at least beat the first world on this. We have to. And yes, they do have other music, but I think the first world is mainly this theme. We have some very difficult platforming there. Oh! I'll try that again. And yes, there is a timer on this, just like in regular Mario, so we'll have to try that. Yeah, I don't know why that didn't keep going. Get my heart, go into the special room. And now I have a fire-breathing dragon for a head. Can't get that one. You want to see what happens when you hit these guys? You bounce really high. And sometimes it'll bounce you into deadly spikes. And yes, your fire works underneath water as well. But it does look a little different. I can't remember who was the development team for this one, if it was R&D 1. If it was the same people who made Mario Land 1 and the original Game Boy, I can't remember. And this is back to my horns. And now I can pay to save the checkpoint. Yes, you have to collect coins and pay coins to get a checkpoint, and you have to have enough coins left over at the end of each level to pay to get out. And yes, this is probably the first Mario game where you could butt bounce and break blocks. Oh, got a 1-up because I already had that power up. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Yep. Ooh, that guy could have killed me. Let's go ahead and grab my fire hydrant. I caught a fire hydrant, but it's basically the dragon head. Those guys are annoying. And look at this. Okay, I was gonna say I don't have enough coins. I gotta pay 10 coins to get out of each level. Yes, I have played Wario Land on the Virtual Boy. It is my favorite Wario Land, actually. And one of the reasons why I own a Virtual Boy. Alright, let's cheat the game again. Look at how happy he looks. And how disappointed he is when he gets crushed. This is like I said, this is fun for me to cheat at this game because of how many times this game has cheated me on coins. And my instinct is almost always wrong, I don't know why. Give me the link, another save state, and... What'd I tell you? I would have gotten this wrong 3 times in a row. You don't want to hurt your eyes? Yeah, that's probably why mine is. The last game is Wario Land Shake It on the Wii. I forgot about Shake It on the Wii, actually. I don't know if I've beaten that one. I know I have it, because I bought a whole bunch of games for the Wii last year, along with the Wii U, PS3, Xbox 360. Alright, now here's something interesting as well. If you guys didn't know this, I'm going to give you a little tip on this game. Whenever a game level has a dot that's just filled white, or filled clear or whatever, green, that's a normal level. But every level like this one that has a circle inside of the level dot, that level can be beaten more than one way to unlock a bonus level. I'll have to come back here and show you because this world actually changes after you beat it. This stage does. So, but this one is letting me know I can beat it more than one way. I hate those little crab things that walk on the beach. And yes, this is like quicksand of some sort, so you can kind of get trapped in here, but you can always navigate your way out. And if you're not paying close enough attention to the background, you can actually fall down in here and find a secret area. I don't think this is the secret way to beat it. Hey, it's these guys. Look at this. They can actually throw knives at you. The guys in Wario Land don't mess around. I don't know if I needed the horns or not. I actually don't know what the rest of that level looks like normally because I'm used to skipping it. And if I'm right, these ones here, I think lead to a secret area, but they also could kill you. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to... I remember this way being the easy way. And then, yeah, there's the ladder back up. And if I'm right, in this part, this is where you can get up here somehow. And get to the secret area, to get to the secret way to beat the level. The problem is you can't reach it yet, so you actually have to beat this whole first stage to get there. Nope, actually it's up here. So yep, no way to reach it yet. And yes, you can try all you want. I don't think there's any way to get up there without beating the first world first. Is your first time seeing this? Yep. It's a good game. I would definitely recommend getting it. If you don't have this for your Game Boy, get it. I spent many car trips beating this game. But yes, you're gonna, and if you do play this game, you're gonna enjoy this as much as I do, being able to cheat at this game. Look at that. First try, no way to know. You just guess, and you double your money or not. One of the main reasons why I wanted to try this with save states the first time I did it was because I thought the game always cheated you, like it put the 10-ton weight in both, because look what happens when you get the 10-ton. It cuts your coins in half, and then Wario gets all sad. Like I said, it's just one of those things. This game always looked intriguing when you were 5 or 6 years old. Still does. Yep, absolutely. I think it lives up. As a great portable game to have on the Game Boy. I think I don't know, I even played this game. I used to love playing this game on the Super Game Boy as well. So, I mean, I played this game all the time. Portable or not. I think I like playing it on the Super Game Boy, though, partially because... And all this stuff at the end, the treasure area, comes into play later. And the reason why I want to collect as many coins as I can, there's a reason for that, too. Really, beyond Tetris, you haven't seen anything on Game Boy? Oh, there's some great platformers on here. Good version of Contra, too, but... Now here, we're already at a spot. Listen to the music, and it will give you... The music in this level gives me anxiety to this day. Because you have that spiky block chasing you the whole time. And then you get to a point where you think you got to keep going, but actually you got to wait. Yes, this, I don't know why this gets me sometimes. Look what they were able to squeeze into this screen. You got the HUD elements at the bottom with a little Wario giving you your life indicator. You got to wait for the block and jump on top of them. You got to duck. You got to avoid these little bat things with the arrows on their head. You got to time it just right so your flamethrower hits it. Whew. I don't want that yet. And the whole time your power-ups could... Nope, I don't want that power-up. And we're back to it. There's another theme that plays later on in this game that will also give you a lot of anxiety. A lot. If I'm right, that guy can stun you when he hits the ground. And there it is. I didn't have to pay to get out of this level. Wario Land 4 is the first Wario game you played. That one's okay, but I mean, really, Wario Land 1, Wario Land 2, and the one for Virtual Boy have been my favorite. I'm not collecting that many coins in each level. I don't know why. It's bugging me. Right on the first try. I'm feeling lucky. My lucky bucket. Come on, lucky bucket, don't let me down. Okay, at least I got 2 right. That's more than I usually do. Endless amount of satisfaction cheating at this game. It really does. There's no impact on the game other than the ending that you get. So that's why I'm just going through in here and maybe I'll get the good ending, maybe I won't. But you have to meet a couple of criteria. You have to have so much in money and you have to collect all the treasures. So this game is, in effect, a little bit of a collectathon. And here we go, we're already at the boss. I think the limitations they created this game with... Oh, I forgot to do a save state so I don't end up having to go back to that area. And we have a new theme. Like a more hurried version of the original theme. Yep. Gotta time that out just right. You guys ever wonder why I do things the way I do? Sometimes I remember. I know with save states I don't have to pay for those, but might as well. And yes, I'm killing these guys because those guys like to shoot little spiky balls out of their stomach. And I don't like them. Nope. See? And look at that. Here's our first boss. I'm gonna save the state just in case I forgot how to beat this guy. Oh yes, I remember him. I forgot how I'm actually supposed to hit this guy. You already made a mistake. I'm gonna restart that just because I don't remember how I'm supposed to... Oh, I remember now. Oh, missed him. Eesh. Try this again. I think I remember. I only have 5 coins here, so hopefully I don't need a lot. I don't know why. All of a sudden I can't get his rhythm down. But he does kind of follow you, so if you're on one side of the screen, and the other. Okay, we got that. There it is. Yeah. See if I can beat him. And now, get all the coins you can. Always got to finish this big Wario. And now we have enough coins to make this game worth it. Let's see if we can quintuple this one. Endlessly satisfying to cheat at this game. That's gonna get me 310. Oh yeah, we can max it out with this one, I think. Yep, this is gonna be 620, which means doubling it next time. You can only earn 999 coins at most. 620. And I think it's this one. Look at that. I said it's just a thrill because how many times I got cheated at this game as a kid. I should try the other game at some point in time, do the hearts instead, but the hearts aren't useful for me. Now we're going to more than double the amount of coins that I've collected so far in the game with just one thing. And I could speed this up. I can press a button and make it go through. I'm assuming you can skip all this stuff because it was a battery life-saving feature, but definitely satisfying to see this go for as long as it does. 300. 200. 100. 0. Look at how happy he is. And just like that, we beat the first stage. Mount Teapot. So I think everything has a food theme in this game, if I'm right. Save the state there. Change over to a different slot. Get back in there. And again, oh yeah, we can go back to the first stage, and now it's going to be different. The tide has come in, and now we can beat this the special way. Let's go ahead and do that. Different theme. Oh, I don't have my fire, my torch. Oh yeah, look at that. Now we have one of these things. I'm right. Let's see if I can get this down. And now we have our first treasure. Jeffrey Slow Jet Ski, welcome to the stream. It's alright. Want to leave the party tonight? Hey, I'm still going, so not too bad. I don't know how much longer I'll be going, though. decided to play some Game Boy tonight. If you've never played Wario Land or Super Mario Land 3 on the original Game Boy, definitely recommend it. One of my all-time favorites. I'm glad that people are kind of digging it since they've never played it in the past. As I said, they need to remaster this one on the Switch. Do like a Wario Land collection. Remastered. And if I'm right, I need a special... I need the horns to be able to unlock that part. So we got our treasure, and now we gotta beat the game at some point. Yep, and I said these are endless pits of death now. So for some reason I remember going this way was better than going under the last time we played this stage. I mean, it's kind of a neat way when you're limited on cartridge space to be able to provide more gameplay, is change some things up in some of the levels I've already played. And nope, I was wrong about getting up there. You actually have to get up here. Pay my fee to get out of the level. There we go. Oh yeah, that's kind of funny. The farther you get through the game, the shorter this takes, the faster he runs around these two poles. Let's try the heart game, because I haven't played this in ages. Let's go ahead and try course C, since that's all I have. There's some bombs. Gosh, it's been forever since I played this. Oh, just missed him. Oh, that didn't go very far. You can tell I've never played this because I'm doing terrible. Got him. Like Duck Hunt on the Game Boy. Nope, didn't quite get there. I got 10 hearts. If I would have got all 5, I could have got a 1-up. One only gets 1 heart, though. And I get 4 coins. There's my shiny new treasure. Christopher Lynch says, Nintendo got lazy with the remakes nowadays. I'm really disappointed with the Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Yeah, well, I mean, there's not... Oh, there we go. We unlocked a new level. I don't exactly remember what the benefit is to completing this level. I think it's just a bonus area for getting some power-ups. Can't remember if I stand here if they eventually come out. There we go. Oh yes, I can chase the crabs. So yes, it's just an area for earning some extra coins. And of course you have to pay 10 to get out. And that's it. So it's kind of like the top secret area in Super Mario World. Almost useless. But that is the only time you chase crabs for coins here. And of course, we gotta try to beat my high score on that, 999 coins. Oops, hang on just a second, getting a message here. I'll let you guys pick it this time. Do you guys think it's gonna be in the left bucket or the right bucket? Type it in the chat now if you're listening, and I will choose whichever you guys do. Left or right, life's big decision. Step right up, step right up. Oh yes, and we do have to end the stream with some Wheel of Fortune. So we're gonna have to do that. Wheel of Fortune on the Game Boy. Christopher Lawrence says left. If I see I concur, or a second. It says left. Do I have a second? Motion needs to be second, or the motion will fail. Mr. Jamie says the left bucket. Alright, and Jeffrey Jesse says, just popped into your head today. Have I ever played the ColecoVision version of Montezuma's Revenge? Love to see me play that. I don't know if I have that, actually, Jeffrey. I'll have to look and see. I do have Montezuma's Revenge on some other platforms. I got a second. Let's try it. Did I save the state? Because I ain't letting you guys bring my total down. Oh! Wario disapproves of your life choices. Alright, let's see if you guys can redeem yourselves. Left or right for the third. First two were right, weren't they? I can't remember what the first one was already. Try it again, left or right. You can't let Wario think that you guys don't know what you're doing. You guys get to choose, left or right. Jeffrey Sojetski says the left one. He didn't chime in last time, so that's the first one. I need a second. Do I have a second, or the motion will fail? Yes, I took part in parliamentary procedure in high school. And yes, I was the guy who said point of order all the time. They got one for the left. Going once, going twice. Christopher Lawrence says left. Well, what does Wario think? Oh, Wario is again disappointed in your life choices, people. You look so sad. What do you guys think now, left or right? Isn't it so sad? That's what I said. Even you guys can pick the wrong bucket every time. That's why I said Nintendo cheats you all the time. The left bucket again, yes. With praying. Oh, sorry about that. Mr. Tamio, we were wrong. I would have picked the left one too. Come on, Mallet again, yep. That's what I said. That's why cheating at this gives me endless satisfaction. Because I, 9 times out of 10, picked the wrong bucket. And only once was able to pick the right one. And usually by the time I pick the right one, I only have like 1 coin. So I double 1 coin into 2. There's my shiny new treasure. Excuse me. Alright, let's go ahead and do some Mount Teapot levels here. Because I feel like I will be, I don't think we'll go through Mount Teapot. Maybe we'll continue this on the next stream if you guys have seen that. When am I playing this? Switch, NES, or SNES? This is actually, I would recommend playing it. Let me pause that for a second. Listen to that pause sound. Let me do this here. There's the resume. Here's the pause. Isn't that like a... Oh yes, that is definitely a paused sound. That almost sounds like I just shut the game off. I don't know why that should have been the one on this. But I'm actually playing this on a Game Boy emulator. So, yep. But I usually would play this again. If you guys see my little fundraiser down there, if you guys want to see me play this on original Super Game Boy or a Game Boy player, I could play it on there too. That's what this little fundraiser's for. I need a $300 upscaler to make it look good on for you guys. So, sorry, I keep getting messages now, so... Jeffrey's catching up with the stream. Is just said, dang it. I know. It's always the wrong decision with Nintendo, isn't it? Alright, actually, you know, I can probably play this on this side. I don't think the lag or the delay is going to be a big issue. Whoa, I didn't think it would be, but instantly I get... Okay, I'm not looking at that anymore. Pause that for just a second. I love that pause sound. I'm surprised it took me that long to... And here I have to pause it again. I'm just going to keep pausing the game every 5 seconds now that I remembered what that sounds like. No way to get that power up. There we go. If I still had my fire helmet, I could do that. Wario use... Oh, I just realized this. Wario uses different caps. Wario has the original cappy. We were just talking about that with Super Mario Odyssey. Isn't that strange that we had... That this is a concept they were working on since Wario Land on the Game Boy. Oh, this is great. This is the jetpack. Let's see. Yeah, there's a way to get up there, but I don't remember how. This can make the game way too easy, the jetpack does. So you kind of almost hit your hitbox there, but you can get around them. Can I get out of here? Almost. Nope. Thought I could. And no, there's no way to kill these guys. Unless, of course, you have your handy-dandy fire helmet with you. Can I make it? No! There we go. Now we're up here. And yes, anytime you fall here, I'm gonna save the state. I think this is how you get to that area that I couldn't get to earlier. Look at that. I don't remember what's down here. Here's the halfway point. Whoops. A little oversensitive on that button. Oh! I can't go there yet because, yep. I can't go there yet because, those blocks need to be, broken apart. And I bet you... how I do that is somewhere up here. Nope, I don't remember how I break those blocks apart. So yeah, that's something to do on there. So cool, love SGB. Yep, Super Game Boy. Oh yes, absolutely. Sorry, not Mallet, but the anvil. Yes, the 10-ton anvil. Your mistake, that's alright. Might wake up watching your live stream, so good game. Oh, I appreciate that, Mr. Tamia. Thanks for stopping in. Definitely a pleasure when you stop by. Alright. We're gonna do the game again, guys. This could be the last time we do it on the stream, because I might switch over to Wheel of Fortune. We're coming up almost on 3 hours, and I want to sneak some Wheel of Fortune in before we leave. You guys tell me, left or right? That music can get addicting too. We got right. Do we have a second? We were choosing left all the last time. Now we're wanting to switch it to the right. I'm almost curious. I don't know if the left's going to be good or not. We got the right. Do I have a second? Mr. Tamia says the left bucket again. Now I'm back in the middle. I need a tiebreaker. Tiebreaker vote, people. Playing the Wario Land bucket game. Always goes so fast. Yes, it does, OXO. It really does. For me, at least. I'm glad it goes fast for you, too. Have a lot of fun on the stream. I'll say if you guys don't do the tie-breaking vote soon, then I will do a stalemate. There's a time limit on this, so I got right and I got left. Wario is very excited, but he is very indecisive and he has a huge overbite. Three, two, one. I'm gonna go with the right one, then the left one. Oh! Christopher Lawrence, you were correct. The right one. I'm sorry, no, that was the left one. Ah. You are dumb, Private Pile, but are you meaning to tell me you can't tell the difference between your left and your right? You got it, OXO. Alright, now we're gonna try the right one. We did left first, let's try the right one. The right one was the wrong one, it's always the left one. Always left, always left, always left, always left. Exit, please. Are you guys getting tired of the music? Let's try left again. Yes! It was left all 3 times. You guys were just seeing into the future. That's what it was. You guys were seeing into the future. 704 coins. That's a nice one. Alright, yep. Let's, after this one, we'll go ahead and switch over to some... We'll switch over to some Wheel of Fortune. I'm gonna go ahead and let that... Oh no, I can't skip past that. I thought I could. So yes, you do have to sit here and wait for this to count all the way down. Jazzy Jazz, welcome to the stream. Just driving home from work, 40-minute commute. Just want to say hi. Hey, perfect, no problem. If you're driving, go ahead and keep me on in the background. You don't have to... No chatting while driving. Why? You're not lucky today. I know, Chris Roach, was funny. You said right, and I clicked the wrong button. That's why I said you are dumb, Private Pile. Do you mean to tell me you don't know the difference between your right and your left? Another thing that's kind of confusing is the game automatically saves every time you beat a level. So I don't need to save the state, but I'm going to just because I shouldn't have done that. Every time you press select, it goes out there. I saved the state just in case the save doesn't work out there. Let me do a... let me see if this will... Yep. So this is a Retro Arch that I'm running this on this. Let's restart. And it should... Yep. There it is. File 7. I've beaten 7 levels is what that means. So I should be able to... Yep, and it saves exactly where I'm at. So that's good there. Alright, but since we were on there and I saw it on here, let's see what Wheel of Fortune looked like back in the day. It amazes me how many games are on here. We're on the Game Boy. Games that really had no business being on here were on here. Like T2, the arcade game. How could they get that game on here? Alright, I have the German version of Wheel of Fortune, or the Universal version of Wheel of Fortune. I think we went with the Universal one. Was ist richtig? That's about all the German I know. That's pretty loud. Did they pay someone to make this music? Because I feel like this guy was like, you know what? It's a Game Boy. Nobody's going to care. Oh, you can do 2-player on this one? Probably had to pass it around. Let's do 2-player because I don't want to play against the computer ever on this. You guys saw how it worked last time. Player 1, enter name. Well, it's player 1. I wonder, will it let me put player 1? I probably won't. Let's see how far I get. P... L A Y. Probably gonna hit the E and that's it. E. Nope, that's it. Playa. And player 2, enter your name. Here we go. R. Can I put a space? Nope. O-N-E-R. E. Rone. Oh, it's got the Vanna White from the MS-DOS version. So we got a time frame here, so I don't know if I'll be able to ask you for letters, but if you have a letter for me to guess, go ahead and try it. That's not bad for what I was expecting on the Game Boy. Actually has some motion. Alright, I don't know how much this is worth. Spin was $200. Let's go with R. And it's a thing. This is not bad for Wheel of Fortune, actually, on the Game Boy. Oh yeah, and it's got the character sprites. Perfect. So since it's timed, I don't know why they decided to put a timer on these. To make you force you to take a turn. No S's. Christopher Lawrence says C. I'm just now seeing the C. So let's see who's gonna win. Play or Roni. I'm gonna go with your C suggestion. There is a C. Those letters would be so small. I don't know how. I think I'd have some trouble seeing this as a kid, even. But I like how this emulator is showing me about what I would see, except for without a backlight on a Game Boy. It wouldn't be this clear. Let's go with T. No T's? Come on. We'll try to guess the puzzles. That's all right. Go right ahead if you guys have any suggestions. If I'm looking at the chat while it's going, here's what's been bothering me all night. I need to move the chat window into this monitor so I can see it along with my game. There we go. $200. No other guesses here. Let's try H. It is amazing the amount of movement they're getting on her. Like, even she crouches to turn the letter. But it does look like the Game Boy is struggling to run this game. Kind of. 600. I like to solve the puzzle, Alex. Ted Ferguson. Yeah, that's not my name. Them trying to get the numbers on the top to stay with the actual wheel as it's spinning is kind of funny to watch. There is a D in the puzzle. I was skeptical. I was skeptical of that. Christopher Lawrence, I feel like you know this puzzle. You're getting the letters right. You got the C and the H, two letters that would have taken me a while to get to. Let's buy a vowel. An E. Street? No, it's not street. Huh, I don't know this one. He's going with J. Let's try it. 800. There's some corrupted graphics in there. Would you say J? No J's. Like as the wheel spins too, all the other sprites are kind of flashing along with it, all the player fields here. N? No N's. I have no idea what this is. I'm going to say F is the next letter, maybe. Oh, by the way, this is no longer Wario Land. If you guys didn't get that. I didn't take that off here. Let's try F. WW, get the F out. You guys don't remember that on was it Monday Night Raw? They had to get the F out when they changed it to WWE. All thanks to the World Wildlife Foundation. About the time I stopped watching that stuff. P. There are no P's. Oh, I trust you. There's some P. I honestly don't know this puzzle. It's really bugging me. 400. Well, it's not breed. I don't know what that first word is. Let's go ahead and buy a vowel with an I. There are no I's. Let's go ahead and buy another vowel. Let's go ahead and O. There are no O's. There's got to be a vowel in there. It's either a U or an A. Oh, 2 A's. I was trying to avoid buying the vowels, but I don't know what that... Anybody got it? I want to say Dracula, but that's not it. You're right, it could be Greek. I like that, Mr. Tammy. I think that's the only letter left to try. But I don't know what that other word is. What's a Greek what? Oh, I think I got it. It just hit me. Well, no. It's not the other word I thought it was. That was Greek drama or something like that, but I forgot about the CH. Yeah, Drachma, Dracula. That's why I said I don't know what that other word is. It didn't tell me. It's not a vowel, because it's not telling me that there's nothing about vowels remaining. It should be telling me that, right? That was it. What's a drachma? I feel like they made that up. What is a drachma? Somebody explain that to me. Or is it just one of those things where it's like I'm overthinking it and then I had to cheat with Google though. That's what I'm saying. What's a drachma? I sure hope they didn't pay someone to do that theme. That is the most terrible. The Game Boy is better of a better theme than that. Is more capable of a better theme than that is what I meant to say. Good grief. That was terrible. All right, Rone is first up this round. Let's go ahead and do the customary R. You said it's money, okay? Any various form of Greek units of weight. I can see that being both. So a measure of money or a measure of weight, I can see that. Or as Brandon stated, as money. Okay. Interesting. Never heard of that term before. And I've read all the classic Greek tragedies. Imagine playing this as a kid. Yeah, no kid's gonna know what a Greek drachma was. Did I accidentally click the German version? I have the feeling there wouldn't be any of that. Greek drachma sounds like clothing. Could be, that's what I said. I had no idea. Okay, sometimes I have to press the button a bunch of times before it actually goes. Oh, moo. That's moo. I would love to see that Wheel of Fortune. Moo. I like how it's miss your turn, but it still has the double zeros. Isn't it lose a turn instead of miss a turn? Have they seen? This is yet another unfortunate port of a show where they don't follow the show. Those licensed property games, I tell you. All right, place. I need to get my head in the game here. I don't have any clue what this is yet. But I'm going with R, S, T, L, N, and E. Just to get those out of the way. I would hate to spell something out in that time frame. The time goes pretty quick in this game. Oh, and I was going to say, I need to buy a vowel next. Oh, a couple ends. And Playa is really rounding out here. Only one E. Let's just buy out the vowels. I mean, I have the money. A was definitely a better buy. I would think that the middle word, yeah. Okay. I think I know the last word. Second and last word. I don't know what the first word is. But if I'm right, the first word has a bankrupt. Boo. I agree. Boo. Second word is national. I think I know this one actually. Let's see. Let's see if I can solve it. I don't know this one. Never mind. Oh yeah, there it is. I don't know how to spell it. It's Sequoia National Park, but I did not spell it right. Incorrect. It's pretty close. All right, I'm going to spin. Just so I can get some money in me before I solve it. I think it's Sequoia National Park, I think. Thank you. I mixed up the vowels. So I'm just gonna get the consonants and hopefully not go bankrupt. But the rest of it is all vowels except for the Q. California specialty, yep. I don't know. My parents have been out to the Sequoia, so that's probably why it jumped to my mind. Readjust my chair. I've been sitting for 3 hours now. And I watched that I said something because I jumped up and clicked it. And then the Q. Don't fail me, wheel. Don't give me a boo or a moo. No boo or moo. That's like how that's what it spells out. Crushing. It's beautiful. Oh yes, absolutely. All right, I need to look at your spelling of Sequoia. Quoia. That's what I did wrong. Q U O I I. Oh, hopefully I don't misspell national now. There we go. Leia takes a commanding lead after the second puzzle. That one was easier. And then, of course, because they have to get their money out of this. They're only using one channel. They're not even using it very well. The timing's all off. That's hard to listen to. Oh, the host is spinning. We're in the final round, and now we have to try to guess letters. Each letter's worth 300 points. I didn't know they were doing this at the time of the Game Boy's release. All right. So, let's go with R. Gonna make some dinner. Awesome stream tonight, Tyler. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Ryan, for stopping in. Definitely helped me on that Sequoia one, because I didn't know how to spell it. Don't get any bankrupt in this game. Interesting. We got one, but I didn't notice it. Because, whoops. Oh yeah, I'm not going to solve. I did not mean to pick that, but apparently I did. phrase. Well, sink or swim is not it. Okay, apparently I just have to let it go there. Let it go. Let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Here I play the Wheel of Fortune. Second word is or. Thanks, Mr. Tamia. You're pretty well on it. Are you sure it's not you are? As in the texting speech? I guess it could be ER, as in the ER. With, what's his face? Can't think of it. He was Batman for one movie. Yeah. George Clooney, there we go. No idea. Okay, it seems like it's quicker just to let the timer run out than to click end. Hmm. No idea yet. I would have said toast, but it's not toast. No, gee, I'm just going to start picking the letters in order now. Oops. I guess I didn't need to click over. I would have said least, but feast? Feast or something. I think you said first word blast. Yeah, you didn't see that on there. I didn't see that till now. It's not beast. Let's try it. It is feast. Oh, I know what it is. Which one am I playing as right now? I don't want Rona to get any money. Now we'll solve it with him. Feast or... Never want to think of this. Famine. Gosh, that's hard to listen to. That's almost worse than the Atari music. But Playa is still the winner. Rone is off on his own. He gets to depart with $1,200. Hey, Master Games Grux. Yep, you got it just in time. Christopher Lawrence got it as well. And Mr. Tamia there at the end. Oh, there's no final puzzle? I just automatically win $25,000? I can deal with that. That would put a dent in what I have to pay to fix my electrical in my house. So owning a house is super expensive. Oh no, I can win $25,000. Okay. Things. Enter 5 consonants and 1 vowel. R-S-T... L. And just a B for good measure. A third Q. Oh, this is going to be tough. Things is the category. I have 1 letter in the second word. Well, I have no idea. What is a tree? 2 TWO? I have no idea. To tree? Nope. To free? Last one looks like boobs. That's the only thing I'm thinking of. Sorry, I did not win the grand prize. What was the puzzle? Tax-free municipal bonds. Because, you know, every kid playing the Game Boy would have thought about their tax-free municipal bonds. Wow. What a puzzle. I guess most kids probably wouldn't be playing Wheel of Fortune. They knew that their mom or dad would have stolen it away from them. All right, kid. Daddy's got to play Wheel of Fortune. Wow. That is one of the worst puzzles I've ever seen on Wheel of Fortune, especially for a kid. You got to know a kid's going to be playing this. Tax-free municipal bonds. I wouldn't even be able to spell that in time. N was a good letter to pick there. And B was a letter. I was right about that. But it wasn't boobs. Oh my gosh. How's it going? It's going pretty good. How about you, Master Games Gorux? You're catching me right at the end here, so I was gonna say the game just pretty much locks up at the end until you press start. And just because I don't want this to be the last thing you hear of me tonight, I'm gonna mute that. So we played Wheel of Fortune on a variety of platforms now. The last one was Game Boy there. Why they put the long puzzles at the end? Yeah, no kidding. And how was I supposed to guess that? Number one, being a kid playing this game, but number two, there weren't that many repeating letters. And except for the N, which was one of the ones I was glad I picked, but tax-free, who's going to pick the X? Who's going to pick the and municipal bonds, the M, the U as the vowel? Yeah, that would never have worked out. Hey kids, have you heard of tax-free municipal bonds? Pretty good. You used to play Wario Land. Wario Land's one of my favorite Game Boy games out there. Definitely happy to do that. So let's see. Throughout the stream here today, just kind of recap. I started off with Ratchet and Clank collection. I played a little bit of Asteroids. Then I played Wario Land 3, otherwise known as, Super Mario Land 3, otherwise known as Wario Land. And then we finished it off with some Game Boy Wheel of Fortune, which I had not played before. I probably wouldn't play this edition again. I don't care for this edition of Wheel of Fortune as much. It's too clunky, it's too slow. I mean, back in the day, again, this would have been a mind-blowing portable game to have in your pocket, but we have something called Premium Bombs here in the UK. Okay, so that makes more sense. Again, if I played the international version, that probably would have came up instead of tax-free municipal bonds. I hopefully don't forget about that for a while. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for me tonight. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Thank you again. Make sure I remember who donated here. OXO. Thank you so much, sir. That worked out to around $4, but $3. Okay, I said OXO, thank you, and my Echo thought I said her name and thank you. So, yep, definitely something there. I do have, I may not have a video coming out this Thursday, and next Tuesday is actually a good friend of mine's birthday, so I will not be streaming next week. So for most of you, I don't think I'll see you guys for about a week. A little over a week, actually, because there's no stream next week, and the next video that comes out will be next Thursday. So appreciate you guys. Thank you for stopping in tonight. If you guys donate anything to Super Chat tonight, that will all get applied to my capture card. My power will be out tomorrow, which is why, because they got to do some electrical work to the house, which is why there probably won't be a video tomorrow, because I have to finish up this one that I have coming out, so it probably won't come out until next week, just because if I miss the Thursday deadline, it's on to the next Thursday. So, yep, we'll see you guys next time. Have a great night.